Is it some devil that crawls inside of you?
I do like, we're started now. We're here. This is the Bad Etiquette Podcast. I'm your host, Alice Bronson. This is Emily. Is it Wryn?
It is Wryn.
Wryn?
You got it.
Wryn or Wryn?
I say Wryn.
Wryn? That's better.
Yeah, it's like the bird, but with a Y.
No, like Wren and Stimpy.
Oh, yeah, there's also that.
Wren and Stimpy. I've never known how to say your name until right now, like specifically. So I feel very enlightened. Thank you.
We're going to discover so many things tonight.
I hope so. I'm going to enjoy some coffee.
Yeah, it's ditto. Let's just slurp into the mics.
Oh, I love it. I know some people hate that. And it's just for you people out there. Hi, how are you?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah?
Had a little bit of a hectic morning, but I'm drinking that coffee.
Doesn't that suck when it's the weekend and your morning's hectic?
Yeah, it's a different kind of hectic, though.
Different kind of hectic.
Yeah, I'm not like, a slave to the system.
A productive
I'm a slave
hectic.
to myself.
Oof, isn't it? Well, I imagine some people aren't slaves to themselves at all and they're not very self-serving. And was there an earthquake? I don't know where I was going with that.
It's okay.
I had to make the joke. And
Yeah, get it.
All train of thought gone, left the station.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like some people don't serve themselves in being productive in their free time, quote unquote.
Guilty.
Yeah.
Guilty. This whole room would not have been cleaned without help.
It looks great. It smells fine.
Yeah,
We're good.
I didn't do that. I have no idea. I light a candle. It's like whiskey and tobacco or something. I'm like, I gotta set a Sherlock Holmes mood every time someone comes in, and I don't think it ever.
I'm not getting
works.
Sherlock Holmes, but I like the idea.
She's like, I would have never pegged you for a smarty with a Sherlock Holmes. Oh, cool. Are you from here originally?
So I've been here for over 20 years. So yeah.
Okay.
I grew up
partially.
I'm very from here. I grew up partially in the Burbank, LA area.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom
Cool.
was doing and acting.
So like the nice, relaxed part of LA. Burbank
Sure.
area.
I mean, I don't have a really great memory of my childhood.
Cool. I'm just gonna ask you nothing but childhood questions.
No,
You're
good.
just gonna
Let's
fill in
bring
the
up all the
blanks.
stuff. It'll just spark something. No, I mostly what I remember is like my feet getting burnt from walking on the pavement because it was hot, and the Northridge earthquake. And
in 2003.
It was in 1993 or 4. I forget.
Oh, I was not even born.
Yeah, I was
How old are you?
alive. I'm 31.
You're 31?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, brah.
I had no idea.
So yeah, I don't have like a ton of like, oh man, I remember this one time in Burbank, but it's nostalgic when I go back. Just like being in the area, being in LA.
I get more and more comfortable each time I go to LA, but there's a couple times there's the homeless problem right now.
It's really intense.
I hate to say it's a problem, but like it is a problem. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a societal problem. That
What'd you say? Wait, what'd you say?
I said it's really intense.
It is everywhere. Everyone's intense.
Yeah, it's true. Oh, God damn it.
I was like, I'll wait.
What did she say?
Because I was going to make the joke and then she beat me to it. And then you didn't even realize. Yeah, so everyone's intense. Or not. They're shopping carts. There's a real shopping cart shortage there. But no, it is crazy the amount of homeless people there. If I was homeless, I don't even think my instinct would be to go with the rest of the fucking homeless people.
Well, I think there's something to be said about like wanting community and safe space, so you're not like alone.
Beautiful.
So I mean, I don't have any like real information on that. I've never like lived that, but that's what I could imagine anyway.
That you're right. I think that there is a community there. There's a community aspect, and once everyone's going through a similar struggle, you can all relate, and then you can all help each other. There's this podcast I listened to, the Skeptic Tank podcast, and this guy, he did like a remote podcast with this homeless girl outside of like a 7-Eleven, and it's just such a trip to see like how they live their lives differently and see how like what little like life hacks they have to use.
Totally.
And how they put up with people treating them less than a person. And I'm still guilty of that. It's so difficult to like usher myself through like, a plaza and there's a homeless person and be like, oh God, like don't bother me. I have no cash. Like,
No, totally. I think part of it is somewhat of a mirroring. I think we're all really scared because we know that it's not that far off.
that's a great way to put it. I've never heard that expression, but I knew immediately what it meant.
Yeah, like I think I grew up really poor and we were never homeless, but like we lived in hotels for a while. And also like I'm a single mom and I don't know how, like sometimes, I've not known how I'm going to pay rent the next month. And like if I lost my job and like all of these other things and I don't have like a huge fallback. So I know it's like, it's kind of always on the precipice. Like I know I'm not that close, it's not like, oh my God, but so many people don't realize how close they are or how realistic it is, where it's like, it's not like most people aren't just like, oh yeah, this is like a decision I'm making because I'm lazy or whatever. It's like situational.
If the right line of people die in my life, I'm homeless.
Yeah.
I'm homeless.
Right? I don't know. It's hard and it's hard to confront that. And there's also people like I've been harassed before too. So I understand like, people asking for money and stuff. And so it's a strange, I think as a society, we're weird about money and shelter and it's hard to look at.
I mean, yeah, no, I think that's a good way to put it. Like we are weird about money and shelter because I don't want to be in a tent for very long. It's funny how people, pay to go camp and homeless people do it for free. Like they're like, hey, I better go ask them how they do it. It's even here in town with the fact that the riverbeds have been like cleaned out and then right back to where it started, which I think is hilarious because it's like that's exactly what the fuck was going to happen. We all said it.
Yeah, it wasn't a great plan. I mean, I don't know enough about it to like speak knowledgeably, but like I see the effect that it had, especially around that time. Like I live near, not there, but like on that side of town. And my car got broken into right after that. I mean, I may have left it unlocked to be fair because I'm a space cadet. But like,
regardless, it's not your shit. Don't break into people's cars. It's unlocked. That's not your car. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. And that was the first time I felt like, oh, I opened up my glove box and I realized like somebody took everything out of my glove box and I put such weird shit in there. Like,
oh, no.
I'm glad my social security card wasn't in there. Or like,
weird shit like that wasn't in there.
Like, great. You got all my trash and tampons. Have fun.
They need those though. I'd never even realized how much of a problem like access to any sort of sanitary product like that for homeless people is. I'm like, oh shit, they have periods too. Fuck.
No, totally. And that's the thing is like we dehumanize people when we see people in a situation we don't want to be in.
I mean, it's like a sense of tribalism, and it makes a whole lot of sense because like if you think about like the safety of a community and like these people that could interfere or like harm your loved ones, you're gonna go give me my fucking kids. I'd rather insult the homeless person and keep my family safe than lend out a hand and get burned.
Right. I think there's also, it just starts a cycle of like non-empathy and non-understanding too, though. Like it's hard to have those kind of boundaries. You just have to be really like aware as somebody who has kids, it's like, yeah, of course I want to protect my kids no matter what. And if I ever felt like they were in a situation that was not safe, I would remove them from the situation and I would do whatever it took. But it's also like, hey, like, again, like showing them empathy and humanity and things like that. I don't know. It's always a fine line. I don't know.
And honestly, sometimes it feels really good. And I'm like, I was a good person today.
Yeah.
I was extra nice to the smelly guy.
Yeah.
So like, and then sometimes I've also given people money that are obviously in need of it or they're requesting it or they have, a sign. And I'm just like, oh, I want my money back. That was a horrible interaction. I didn't like that at all.
Right.
And I
when
always
it feels
try
coerced.
Yeah, exactly.
I understand. That's why like anytime anybody is like making a thing or doing a thing, it's like, yeah, here's some money. Like you're doing something to support yourself or your family or whoever, you're helping support. So
I saw this kid. He couldn't have been older than me. He was younger than me, just standing on the fucking corner in front of Starbucks with a sign. And I'm like, walk in. They have jobs. I don't work there anymore. Take my job. It's right fucking there. Go in there. They hire people. What are you doing? Like, at least talk to someone because everyone's going to be like, oh, at least this one's trying. And then next time you come and be like, hey, could I have water? Be like, oh, sure. Do you want this coffee?
Yeah.
Anything. Like, just when people are so supportive when they see you attempting to do things. And I found out that they were like that when I started this fucking podcast.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, oh my God, yeah, so excited. And I'm like, you've never been nice to me before. What's your end game? You're not coming on the podcast,
Yeah.
So.
Well, there's something really like, it's exciting for people to see people doing something they like, you know, like for my kids, my biggest goal for them is just like find a thing you're into, like anything. I don't care what it is, anything, as long as you're not hurting people, like anything.
Yeah.
Just have something.
If you could make your kids grow up to be something specific, what would you make them be?
I really don't have that in my head.
I know, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't know.
make something up.
I just like all I want for my kids is it's like not a career thing, and that's something like I've had to a lot to do, like confront within myself, is that my value as a person isn't what I do for a job. It's the things I do outside of it.
Agreed. And I hate when people like put so much emphasis on their job and I don't get any personality, or like I'm afraid of that. That's my big fear.
Yeah, I think it's like there's a difference between like some people have jobs that are also their career and also their passion, but that's fucking really rare. Most people have jobs and they have something they love to do and they want to make it a career or not. And then, you know, they have the rest of their life. I've been doing the Monday through Friday grind like really hard for the last few months, and it's not my style. It is not great for me.
Same. It really sucks that there's not like a greater way. Actually, you know what? I think because of the way things are going with like online stores and online like just creative outlets, I think people are finding new ways to make careers for themselves, or at least make money for themselves, where they don't totally have to be in some automated environment.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool. Like when people get mad about, these self-checkout lines are putting cashiers out of work, and I'm like, good, maybe they'll go paint or do something cool, and they could like make money off that or something, you know.
Yeah.
I get excited about that.
It's really like for me the most valuable thing is time, and that's a lot what I've been missing doing this job I have to do to like support my family right now. And it won't be forever, and it'll change, and I'm excited for the future of that. But time is so important, and energy is so important, where it's like I can do inane bullshit. I mean, that's not what I'm doing. You know, I'm like have a big girl job, you know, but I can do whatever for a certain amount of time as long as it gives me enough like physical and mental energy to be able to do the work I want to do afterwards.
I would rather have a shitty job that allows me to focus on what I'm passionate about than have a great job or a good job that takes all that time and energy away from what I really want to do with my life.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll work at Starbucks or
Totally. I was a server for
Walgreens.
years, and it like that's one of the, like speaking of like dehumanizing people, like you know, people don't get it. It's like at one point it was like, dude, I make more than a doctor an hour right now. Like I'm working at this nice ass restaurant.
That's
like,
awesome.
Relax. It's not always been like that, you know, but like occasionally it is. There's just it takes a lot of effort and it takes a lot of intelligence to be able to work with people. And I think that's another thing that people don't like focus on is like emotional intelligence or social interaction is like really highly valued. I think especially nowadays. I don't know if this is true or if I'm just getting old, but like interacting with like a younger generation is getting harder and harder.
Oh, it's disgusting. I don't like interacting with them because I just mow through them. I thought I was like part of the annoying young generation, and even I'm like a grumpy old. I get called boomer by all of my friends now. It's fucking hilarious. And I got heckled at a comedy show, and someone was like, "Okay, boomer," for a joke I made. And to be fair, it was a joke about someone sagging their pants, and I was like, "Fair call, but fuck you. You're definitely older than me." So, anyways, but yeah, I don't know how people do it with people younger, like these high school kids, because I live by the high school. They're always walking by, and they're just socially awkward. They don't know how to like fucking shuck and jive on a sidewalk, or if I'm like getting in my car, they lose their shit. I'm just making shit up. I'm just trying to be relatable. These young kids today, what do they do?
No, I think it's really just about like being able to communicate in any sort of social, and like it doesn't have to be the way I communicate. Like if it's on your phone, like great, like but be able to say what you need and what you want and be able to relate to people, or just like look people in the eyes when you're talking to them.
Yeah,
again,
absolutely.
I'm sounding real old.
I looked away when you said that. I was like, I'm not looking in your eyes anymore.
It's not happening.
I think just because there's a versatility in the way people can communicate when they're older than the younger generation or whatever. Same thing probably happened with the greatest generation, boomers,
exactly.
X. They just had something like, oh, these fucking TV, or oh, everyone's sucked into a newspaper.
Yeah.
So everyone communicates very differently, and I think that eventually even they will be like, oh, these fucking psychic kids,
totally.
these like VR kids communicating with each other, you know.
Yeah, and maybe it's not generational. Maybe it's just that like it's humans. I think humans have a hard time actually having conversation, and maybe they just don't want to have fucking small talk.
I don't want to have small talk. I don't. As soon as someone starts small talking to me, I'm falling asleep. I'm yawning. I'm getting out of the room.
Hard.
I'm out of the conversation.
It's something that I've learned throughout the work as a server I've done. Like, you gotta do that. I'm not like, here, tell me your deepest secrets.
So I mean, oh gosh, I know. So sometimes it's really funny. I worked at Walgreens for a little over a year, and I've never learned so much about humans in my entire life than experiencing like. Walgreens is interesting because it's set up where it's like baby products, like children's toys, and then there's like medicine, and then there's like elderly care. And it's literally, if you look at it, well, it starts with makeup, and it's like, okay, so you put the makeup on to get an attractive date, then there's the family planning section, and then there's the
it's a
diaper
life
section.
cycle in
it's
one
a
store.
whole life in the rows. And I remember sitting there, I wasn't even high, and I was like sitting there, and I was just freaking out behind the counter, and I was like, it's all right here. And then there's the pharmacy at the end where you get your end of life drugs and all this elderly care.
It's a perfect place to contemplate mortality.
Oh, exactly. So like all these people walking in and being strange walks of life. I had a point to this, but I experienced so much and learned so much about humans and how small talk. Sometimes I definitely want the small talk.
Yeah,
because
sometimes you can only be surface level with people, man.
I don't want to be anything more with certain people. They'll tell me things, and I'm like, didn't ask. Didn't want to know. Fuck. There's that meme about like, I don't want small talk. Let's talk about sex, drugs, and aliens. And I'm just like, no, fucking keep that shit to yourself.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to serve you coffee or give you your bubble gum. Like, I don't want to hear it. Fucking weirdo. Some of that stuff needs to stay surface level.
Yeah, go to a bar.
Yeah.
Talk to that bartender.
Oh, God. Yeah, exactly.
This is not for fluorescent lighting.
Coffee break. Okay. That was so easy.
Yeah.
You're a great conversationalist.
Well, thank you.
That was blowing by. I'm very happy about that.
Good.
When did you? So you've been here for 20 years?
Yeah.
A long time.
It is a long time. I don't plan on staying here.
Where do you want to go?
My mom actually lives up in Tigard in Portland.
Okay.
Or near Portland. So my plan is to actually move this summer.
You hipster.
I know.
You perfect stereotype.
I know. It's hard because it's like I haven't.
I'm going to go to Portland and be like, Emily. No, it's not her. Emily.
Exactly.
It's not her. They all look like her.
There's so many short bangs here. I can't get enough. It's complicated, but I have kids here, and their dad lives here, and their other families here, and I've never wanted to like disrupt that. But it's like there's not enough opportunities here for me. Well, as career and the career that I do have, and then as my actual like passion, and for my kids, like I want them to be in a space where they can choose to do whatever the fuck they want, and that's just not Lompoc.
Well,
it takes a lot of.
Then I'm glad
finagling.
they're not going to be here if that's the case. I always question whether I'd want to have a kid raised in like a hectic city or like a countryside or like a small town, because I grew up in small towns. But like, I'm also like, shit, I need to put these fuckers in the city so they get some street smarts and some balls
or
on
just
them.
some
But then
culture, and it's fun. Like I like Lompoc a lot. It's just like it's aged out for me. You know,
that's okay. You can cycle out of things, and I think that's important for people to find out for themselves.
Yeah, because I don't want to resent the place that I live, and it has nothing to do with the place. It's just like California's fucking expensive.
I hate that.
For me to get a better job than I have now, I'd have to commute a lot, and like there's not a lot of community for teenagers, and my kids are 12 and 10.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like they're
careening towards adolescence.
They're careening towards it real fast, and like I know what I did, and I was a weirdo, and I was like playing on street corners and like getting into trouble, and like that's fine, but like I want more options. Whereas
my kids are gonna be nerds.
Yeah,
they can't do any of the shit I did, and I was a goody fucking two shoes. Excuse me. I'm gonna make my kids be boring little assholes.
Yeah,
they're gonna have nothing. They're gonna be like, no. Or I just had this conversation with someone yesterday about like cussing in front of our kids, and I was like, no. which is ridiculous. I don't know if anyone that's listening would be like, yeah, right, asshole.
Yeah. I mean, you have all of these ideas before you have kids about how you're going to raise them, and then it gets completely destroyed.
But like just recently, it just switched where I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be like super like normal, like no cussing in front of them, no drinking in front of them. We're not going to have them watch R-rated movies, because I had a very fucking like disjointed kind of upbringing. Yeah. Where it was like R-rated movies, cussing, drinking, drugs around. I'm like, yeah. And I turned out fine. Yeah. I think.
I think you seem fine.
Yeah, it's been 20 minutes on the dot, so we'll see. Surface level gone.
2 hours in. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, there's something to be said about people. Like, life is never fucking easy, and like you're always gonna put your kids through something, even if you try really hard. But you want to make the best life for them as possible, and whatever that means to you, you know. I don't know.
I don't want them to be spoiled, but I don't want to put them through like heartache and hardships like I thought I had.
Yeah, no, I think it's just about being really honest. I think that's the most important thing.
I think you're right.
Is like honesty. Like, again, like
as a non-parent, I think you're right.
Yeah, good. Dallas approved. I'm glad. My parenting skills. Yeah, for me, I think with any relationship, it's about honesty, and I don't know. It's that's my highest goal.
I mean, honestly, like it fucking. Who keeps up the lies? It's too hard.
It just tastes. It's a bad taste.
You're always like shielding people and lying and doing things, and then your kid finds out, and then they resent you, and you're like, I was trying so hard. Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, it's just being honest. Like, when I have a bad day, like, I'm not taking it out on them, but I'm like, dude, I'm not having a good day. I'm grumpy. Like, I don't feel good. Like,
that's so interesting.
Like, I had a long day at work. Like, you guys are like, I need a second. I'm gonna put myself in a timeout. You guys do your thing. You know, whatever. Just being honest about, I think, emotions without like putting them on to them. Yeah. I don't know. It's a lot of finagling, a lot of balancing.
You make it sound very interesting. And I don't know if it's because like I'm reaching that age, but every day that passes, I'm like, I could have a kid. I could do that. Yeah. I could have it. Like,
this is my one thing about if you ever want to have kids, imagine doing it alone.
I usually do.
Yeah, exactly.
I usually think of it's like just me and my little guy.
Yeah.
Me and my butt.
Because I think a lot of people are like, oh, we want to have kids. We want to make a person together.
Let me clarify. I don't want anyone else to be the mother of my children other than Kylie.
Well, of course.
But I also imagine myself being completely alone with like a little, like a pet or like my little bro, my little friggin'
your
guy.
little dude.
And they just raise him. I don't know what movies I'm watching that makes me like, yeah, we're gonna be on the road together and
it's some sort of apocalypse situation.
Yeah. Oh, The Road. It's literally The Road.
It's literally The Road.
God, please no. That movie breaks my heart.
I can't. I was having a conversation yesterday, I think. Oh, my kids were getting their haircut, and we were talking to Yessie.
They're getting bangs.
They were getting like short bangs too. Okay. It's but we were talking about horror movies, and I really like horror movies. Yes. And when I was younger, like all the gory shit, it didn't really bother me, and it was like whatever. And like sex and gratuity, it's like, yeah, I get it. And now as I get older, I'm a lot more sensitive because people are scarier than like ghosts.
You took this conversation in the correct direction. Okay, because this is exactly what I was going to bring up. I was like, go ahead.
No, that was it. It's just like basically I've become more sensitive.
Fear of mine is I'm going to have kids and they're going to fucking ruin movies for me, and I'm not going to be like, I can't watch this. This is so fake, but her head's still off.
Yeah, well, it's like anything involving children is like really hard for me, of like being in a situation.
Gosh, and that's so crazy because I literally am excited about this show on HBO because someone said, "Oh, you see this kid mauled in the first episode," and I'm like, "Yeah, baby." So, but. I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little more sensitive now.
It's so weird because if you asked me this last year, I'd be like, oh, I fucking hate kids. I kick them in the shin when I see them. But now I'm like, I can't wait to have a kid so we can kick other fucking kids in the shin for me. Yeah. Oh, man. Movies, like I get fucked up about movies sometimes, and I'm like, why did that get me this time?
Yeah, sometimes it's really random. I also like I do suffer from like some mental illness and like anxiety and things like that. But I must have been in a weird zone, and I watched the movie Chappie.
Oh, okay.
Years ago.
No spoil. You spoil it all you want.
No. And it was like, part of it was it fucked me up. I was like so sad. It like did something to me, and I have never seen it again.
Was it because it was like a futuristic movie? Or?
Yeah, I mean it's like sad. What's that freaking? Oh my god, that band with the she has short bangs.
Wow, you look so regretful about your bangs right now. You're like, oh no.
Oh no. Anyway. Yeah, I don't know why it fucked me. I think it's again about like just people being awful. Just people being really shitty. And that's hard for me to watch because people are really shitty. And I've dealt with shitty people. I've lived a life where I've had to deal with shitty people and it's hard. And definitely sometimes it's like, why did I bring kids into this awful world?
I think about that too, where I'm like, I can't bring a kid into this world. But also part of me is like, I'm going to bring a kid in this world and just be like, go have fun.
Get it.
Shit's crazy. My parents don't understand cell phones. I can't wait to see what I don't understand.
Totally. Yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of feelings about life, and it's sometimes really awful and people are really horrible, and then other times it's really, really beautiful, and it's just that kind of balance. I don't know if it's a phrase or a saying, but it's called. I'm not gonna. Oh God, I shouldn't say it out loud.
Say it out loud.
It's called Mono no Aware, which is about like it's like a thought, I guess, or a feeling. It's about like the impermanence of life and kind of like those moments where you're like
fleeting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And a lot of like the beauty I find in life is kind of in those where I'm like I'm being present, but then I'm like looking at it from the future and I'm like, oh man, this is going to be a memory one day.
Yeah. I just felt like this is a memory I'm looking back on right now, and it already happened.
It's done.
That's been happening with me a lot lately with my parents.
Yeah,
because they're not old, but they're getting older. Like my dad will be a senior citizen this year, and we had a conversation about what he's going to do after he's done working because he's been a construction worker my entire life, and he's like, I don't really have like a retirement like set up. I have some money from the union. He's like, I've never done anything else, and I'm like, yeah, Dad, I know.
Yeah,
I'm scared for you, and when I get there. And I was like, really, like my grandma's gonna sell the house. He can't go live with her, and he's divorcing his Looney Tunes wife, thankfully. But it's like, I just realized like, I'll never have like a home with that whole family again.
Yeah.
Like everything's gone. Like all those Christmases at grandma's are going to be gone.
Yeah.
And then, my dad's going to be gone one day. He's such a fucking, I need to have him on here to show people like what a weirdo my dad is, just to hopefully explain whatever psychosis I got going on here. So he is like, if I get cancer, like, that's it.
Yeah.
I ain't getting treatment.
Yeah.
I'm going to vitamin up and
head on out.
I'm like, respect, but hey, asshole, I'm going to miss you.
Yeah.
And I'm, same thing with like things with my mom. I hug her more. I never hugged her before. I used to, like when I was like age 13 to 20, I probably hugged my mom 13 to 20 times.
Yeah.
Ever. I did not get along with her, did not like her. It was horrible. And now I'm like, oh my God, I think I like my mom. You know, I love my mom. And it's so weird. Anyways, so your kids are going to think that about you one day.
I know. And then it's very strange, and it's always complicated with your parents. And I don't know. It's really the idea of like reparenting yourself in order to like appreciate your parents. I don't know. It's that's real, because I have to correct the fuck ups of like me being a stubborn little asshole and going and finally admitting things to myself, or saying like, I was wrong in the stubborn child, and now I have to embrace what I have left of them. Well, like there's a moment, as like I don't have like a specific moment, but there is a moment in everybody's life when you're like, oh, my parents are human. They're people. I mean, I had it probably pretty early, but it's as I've gotten older and like working on my own stuff and whatever stuff was dredged up from childhood, and also just like the relationship between my parents and me, or relationship between my, partner and me, or the relationship between me and my kids. There's just this, like, it's that feeling over and over again almost, of like, everyone's just human. And
it's
like
terrifying, because you're like, I thought I was going to be like a celebrity rock star supermodel. What the hell?
Well, it's just like how you relate to, like, I think a lot of it is like having, just like dropping like veils and expectations from people. I don't know. And of yourself. It's, yeah, again, it's kind of like I just keep getting back to like reparenting myself, like everything's okay. You're good.
What was one of the most prominent things you had to like reparent because of that?
It's a lot of like patterns and how I relate to people. I would definitely say I lean towards codependency, and not in a like, oh, I need somebody, but in a like, I have to take care of everything and I have to take care of everybody. And in order to do that, I have to walk on eggshells. In order to do that, I have to make sure that this is happening or this is happening, or it's like, I'm going to give this up in order for this to happen because I want everybody to be okay, because I want it to be peaceful and I don't want to have to deal with like,
So
this
a
other
people
stuff.
pleaser, or are you just
Definitely,
like a
there's
wedding
been some
planner
of that.
style?
I wouldn't say wedding planner style. I think it's just like, yeah, there's a little bit of, I'm not going to say subservience, but like a little bit of giving too much and not having great boundaries.
You make sacrifices for people.
Yeah, and not always, it's not beneficial to anybody.
Did that come from motherhood, do you think?
From being, I mean, I've been a mom my entire adult life. So it's like, it's kind of like, I grew up with.
You're like, I don't fucking know.
Right. I don't know where that starts.
I didn't get whatever you're getting at, Dallas.
No, I just like like my childhood. It was like childhood, and then parent. There was no in between.
What's the dynamic with your children then because of that?
Yeah. I mean, it's.
Are you like cognizant that you have a daughter and a son?
I have 2 sons.
2 sons. Okay,
Yeah.
They're gonna grow up and everyone's gonna be like, "Dude, your mom's hot." Like they're gonna have to, because you're young. Yeah, you're like, that's okay. Like, that's my first thought is, dude, if my mom was that young, like I would keep her in the closet. I'd be like, you can't come over. I have no room. I sleep in the attic. You can't. There's not enough room.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know any other way really. I mean, the dynamic is our dynamic, and mostly we're really close. I've definitely been, especially with this new job, a little more like, do all this stuff because we only have this much time, and like, and I don't like being like that all the time, but I don't know. I think we're close, but I'm definitely not like, I don't like the idea of parents being like, I'm your best friend. Like, you need to love me. Like, I'm not about that. Like, I'm your fucking mom. Like, we'll hang out and we'll watch some shows and like, we'll do cool shit and we'll talk about deep stuff, but like, I'm not your friend.
It's so funny that you say that, because I had, for lack of a better phrase, a lonely childhood. So my dad was my best friend for a lot of it.
Yeah, it was just me and my mom.
And not because like he like forced it, but he was just my buddy.
Yeah.
Like we were just buddies. We went to movies together all the time. He
Yeah.
took me skateboarding. I skateboarded more with my dad than most of my friends growing up. And like, I remember I'd be at his like friend's house in their man caves playing pool while everyone's smoking weed. And I'm like 10
You're
to
chilling.
13, 14 years old. And I'm like, just all these years, like, this is the greatest thing ever. I get to hang out with my dad. He's buying me candy and soda. And I'm getting a contact high for sure. And I'm like shooting pool. Like, this is great. Like, why wouldn't I why aren't people friends with their dad? Just be open and like serious. And my dad's just always been like so real. And he was absolutely my best friend. So when I hear people say things like parents forcing the best friendship, it's like, oh, that's disgusting. That sucks. They missed out. They can't even capture what I got.
No, totally. And everybody, like with every relationship with people, friendships or otherwise, including with your children, it's going to be different. You know, for me, it's like, I think I had a really close relationship with my mom in a way that was like, it was just the two of us and we were surviving.
You know, I can relate to an extent to that because for the most part, it has been me and my mom. So my parents separated when I was 14. So it's been me and her for the last 10 years. Yeah. You know, on her own. And like, we definitely, I feel like we're a lot more even on like, we gotta like get through life, and it's a lot less like mother son.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, we're definitely not like best friends, but I think about it and I'm like, that's like my fucking sidekick, or like I'm her sidekick.
Totally.
I've been doing this for a while. That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, the idea of family is really hard for me. So it's interesting having a family, you know, like my kids have siblings. I was an only child and it was just me and my mom.
Oh, okay.
And so
yeah, I have a fucking ass ton of siblings. I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest and the biggest somehow. So.
But yeah, it's like seeing them interact as siblings is really like heartwarming to me. I was also had a very lonely like childhood. And that's probably why I'm a musician. You know, it's just like, I'm just going to go to my room and play guitar, you know, like write some poetry and like whatever.
I was so close to being that asshole. I definitely wrote poetry.
Yeah.
But
that's how I started. I'm
not saying you're an asshole. I would be an asshole if I was doing
it's
that.
Okay. But yeah, it's just an interesting dynamic. And I think, you know, part of like deciding to like keep my first child, that was not a plan of action, was like, you know, wanting to give them like a sort of like ideal like family, like, oh, family. It didn't end up being that way. I divorced my husband like 5 years later, and then I was in another long-term relationship. Now I have a great partner. We don't live together, but it's wonderful.
Is it wonderful you don't live together?
Well, we'll see. We're just not there yet.
I gotcha. I've never lived with a significant other other than my mom.
Yeah.
I like to say. I keep making that joke. It's like the third podcast where I'm like, deal with that one, Freud. But excuse me. I'm a little nervous about that.
Yeah. Well, it's
Living
sharing
with someone?
space.
Sharing
is hard.
space. I remember I was downstairs and I was alone for like the first time this weekend, and I was like, this is nice. I'm going to miss this.
Yeah.
And I thought that for a second, and I was like, you're a selfish asshole. You don't even know about the beautiful qualities and wonderful emotional landscapes you're going to get into by living with your significant other. But I thought like really selfishly for a second there, and I was like, oh, shit.
I don't think it's selfish to want alone time. I think it's really important to carve out alone time. Like carve it out.
Carve it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes it's like you're so fucking busy. You have no like, and it's so easy to be like, oh, well, I have to do this thing and this thing. And yeah, of course I want to spend time with my partner. Of course I want to snuggle and watch a movie. Of course I want to go do this fun thing. Of course I want to have sex. Like these are all the things that I want.
Yeah.
But if like you don't have time for yourself to do the things that you love, or just to sit in quiet and like have a thought,
Right?
you know? So it's like I like sharing space. It's just like it's so important to create that time for yourself.
Yeah.
My
agree.
biggest fear in like any partnership or friendship or relationship is resentment. I don't ever want to create resentment. And part of that is like taking time that I need and like giving people space when they need it. I mean, there's plenty of other inner workings about that, but like that's the biggest thing.
It's interesting when the boundaries are blurred and they become like more like, and then you kind of let it get away from yourself, and you're like, oh, I gotta go back and recarve these boundaries.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to kind of like, like early and often, if anything ever comes up, you know, I'm just thinking about like
Nip it in the
sharing.
bud.
Yeah, just be like, hey, this made me feel like this.
Damn,
I don't know why,
it's so
but
crazy.
like,
It's so crazy how that like simple way of phrasing something is so fucking vital to the way people need to communicate, and like just to be like, hey, that made me uncomfortable. It's like if people just fucking took all their ego attitude out of the conversation and just were very matter-of-factly about it, and very, you know, like I think the most progress I get in my relationship is when I just put myself aside and just put it into a nice, understandable fucking trail of words. And it makes sense. And it's like, hey, this made me uncomfortable. If you saw me doing that, I think you would also be uncomfortable. I don't want this to happen again, vice versa, or something, whatever, you know.
And it's like, this is why I think it made me uncomfortable. And like, is this my stuff or is this like a thing? And like, just, I'm a very vocal processor. So it's really important for me to be able, and it's hard to fucking talk sometimes about that kind of stuff, but it's, again, honesty early and often.
Yeah, that's good. It's honestly just so much more fun too when you're like about to say this shit. Let's see how this goes. So I like the fucking fizzy soda aspect of life like that, where you're like, oh, I think it's gonna spill over. Oh, but it didn't. Okay, cool. I said it. Now I get to enjoy this moment or not. There should be a better analogy somewhere, but I
got
couldn't
what you're
think of
saying.
one.
In my relationship, we have weekly check-ins, which is kind of nice.
That sounds really cathartic.
Yeah, I'm not a very organized person, but I've noticed that like the more organized I am in my thoughts and in plans and things, the more comfortable I feel. And it's hard. It like takes a lot of effort. So like, again, carving out time to be like, hey, once a week, we're going to go have coffee. We're going to take a walk, and we're just going to check in and see how we feel about what's going on in our lives right now.
We used to do something like that. We used to have like a Sunday, coffee and like cards. We'd play cards at like Starbucks and talk and do things like that. And then another thing, we've been going to this place in Orchid, fucking Cups and Cunts. or cups and crumbs. I call it cups and cunts, like on
I was like,
reflex now.
wow.
Wow, so modern. Yeah, cups and crumbs, and we'd go there a certain day of the week and just like have breakfast, and that was like our check-ins. I don't even realize it, and it was just so cathartic. And I was like, oh yeah, it's beautiful. Fucking, I can't wait, because like I know I'm gonna like the person I'm talking to. I'm gonna make some zingers. I'm gonna draw some fucking dumb shit on a napkin, and I'm gonna have a croissant. It's gonna be great. Can't wait. I love that shit. That check-ins, that weekly check-ins. I love like a schedule, and it is really difficult to create like an organization or like a schedule of things. But once you do, you said you feel more comfortable. You feel more.
There's this phrase, I forget, God, I'd have to look her up on Instagram, I'm the worst, but there's an artist I follow, and this is the first person that I heard say this, but discipline is pleasure. And yeah, you can get weird with it, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm all about kink, but that's not what I'm talking about. But like discipline.
I can't believe you went there before I did. My mind was like, oh, discipline is pleasure. Okay. Like I didn't even go.
But yeah, it really is, because it's making time for specific things to then have like a place to settle in and relax and like be accomplished. I'm such a procrastinator.
Guilty.
And my brain goes all over the place all the time. I gotta focus. Yeah. And like part of it right now is just like I have to do it. Like I leave to drop off my kids at 7:45. I go to work at 8:30. I work till 6 most of the time, sometimes 5:30. I have to drive to Oregon to pick them up from their dads, and I come back. So I'm gone from like 7:30 to 7. And it's like I have to like check, like make sure I get all my shit done.
You have your 12 hours. You have to get it all like within that schedule.
And so then it's like, okay, well, at least, once a week or whatever, I need to work on my Patreon, or like I need to,
You have a Patreon?
I do have a Patreon.
Oh, well, what's it called?
I didn't mention it.
Okay.
So it's, let me look at it.
All right.
I think it's just so I go, as a musician, I go by my last name, Wryn. Okay. Wryn.
Yeah, of course.
So I'm pretty sure it's like patreon.com/Wryn or something like that. But we can link it and
plug it and all that good stuff in the post stuff.
And that's been great. Like we can start talking about art stuff, because I have a lot of feelings about that. But
all right, feelings. Let them out.
So many feelings. I have been recording for years, and I just don't release things.
You just don't release things? She's like the Tupac of bangs.
I like to think I'm like a hoardy little like dragon. I'm just like, here's all my shit. I'm just gonna live in this fucking cave.
Seriously though, the idea of like fucking musicians, like my favorite musicians of another earthquake, Northridge flashbacks. I wasn't there. I wasn't born. That's why I said 2003. Fucking 10 years after. There's the idea of like, there's so many musicians. Shut the up, neighbors. Jesus Christ. I love leaving the window open, and then some fucking broken family's feelings come spilling out of the background there. Oh man. I love musicians. My favorite musicians have so many like recordings and bands and shit. And they're just like, oh, I'm a songwriting machine. Just recording. I think that if you're not doing that, like, oof. I think of myself like that. Like I write jokes. I write like dumb little jokes that will never. I'll just have like I just have like, oh cool, I'm gonna have like tons of them.
And then
but
you
then
can like
but then when it comes, Friday, Saturday night and I tell jokes, and it's gonna be like an 18th of them.
Yeah,
like,
or it's gonna be the ones you're the most comfortable with or whatever. I mean, luckily, like when I play out, there are a few songs I don't play out because they're a little more complicated than I am comfortable with, like lyrically or otherwise, where it's like something basically what happens is I write and I immediately record it. Like sometimes I'm just writing it and I'm recording it at the same time.
Good. That's so
so
good.
it just kind of leaves me. So then to relearn it and like put it back into my system.
That's so interesting, because when I have like an idea for a joke, I'll write it down and be like, fuck yes, it's there, it's gone, it's out. And then I'll look back and be like, oh fuck, I never worked that out. I never remember that. Oh shit, I gotta like tune this up. I have to fine tune this up. It's interesting.
So that's kind of why I started a Patreon, was like, I can release this stuff to people who want to hear it, and it's like I have so many songs, like once a month if you're on this level you get a song. Or the hardest one has been I was one of the highest levels is like, oh, I'll do like a video living room set, which you think was like whatever, you just play for time, like you play all the time. It's like I don't. Or
video living room set like on your Patreon?
Yeah.
That sounds really cool. Like how they have like tiny desk concerts or whatever.
Kind of, yeah, but it's just like it's me playing, for a little bit, and like I'll either set up, and sometimes it's in like different situations. And that's been the hardest one just because like I don't have a lot of time, or I'll be playing and I won't think to, record it. Or I'm playing and I'm just writing. Like I don't practice.
Does it
often?
Do you get like bummed when you're like, oh, I had it and now I didn't record it and I didn't write it down. It's gone.
So what I've started doing is just like leaving a voice memo open if I can remember.
Okay.
Because a lot of like my songwriting has evolved over years, but a lot of it is like kind of like just flow thought, and then I'll get like a thing and sometimes I'll like then be able to work on it. And sometimes it's just like a string of stuff that's just happening. I don't know.
How do you remember lyrics when you're on stage? I can't remember lyrics to my favorite songs. I don't get that part. Is that just a reflex of being a musician?
It kind of is. It's just like it is a practice. I say I don't practice, but I do. It's just not something I'm very disciplined about. I'm not like, Tuesday's my day to fucking sit down and play songs I've played 500 times.
Dude, the fact that people sit down and have schedules for creativity like that, that's amazing. That is that's my kink, is when you have like something like structured and weird and creative and you just bring it together and you're like, I scheduled it. If I could just take a pill and be like, it's creativity time now and get there. Yeah. Oh my God.
Well, that's part of like what I'm working on is scheduling time for that. Like next week I have a gig. So I have my kids every other weekend, but I have them all the time during the week. So like on my every other, when I don't have them, I like schedule a lot of fucking shit in there. So like I'm playing a show in Isla Vista at the Dolores Huerta House, excuse me. And but before that, I'm also going to be working on a weird music video. Cool. And we'll see how it goes. Yeah. It's kind of like last minute. But I'm excited. But yeah, it's like you have to schedule that time in order to like.
So you just have to bring you have to bring it on those days on that schedule. So okay, I can appreciate that. Yeah. Like I've a set this Friday at the beach, and I'm like, okay, I have to use all my time this week that I can to like write a little joke set list down and like fine tune these fucking jokes and then fucking,
Yeah, but imagine if like, that's what I'm trying to do is like, imagine if you did that once a week where you're like, Wednesday is my day to do this thing. Oh, I have 2 hours.
Fuck that.
Yeah, it's not enough, but it's like.
Oh, and you're doing this podcast? You're a busy girl.
But it's like maybe you can extend it more or whatever, but when you have just like, I know for a fact nobody's going to bother me at this amount of time. This is what I'm doing. Anyway. I think it's important to, again, it's like something to look forward to.
That's true. There's a reward system.
There's also a thing where I get it. It's like, I don't like to force shit. Like, I've never been like, I'm going to write a song about this specific subject and I'm going to fucking,
It's hard. You have to be like an emotionally intelligent person, I think, to bring like a skill and a craft and like bring it together to fucking make something like that. Like I do that with like cards and like things on like holidays and like anniversaries. Like I like, okay, and now I'll just write something really beautiful and emotional at the end of the day, like when that's happening. And I do that all the time. And thankfully most of the time it comes out just fine. And I'm a fucking Lothario over here. But I gotta tell you, I couldn't imagine if it was like my career or like something I was passionate about where I was like, schedule it, do it.
Well, mostly, like, for me, it's a lot of catharsis. It's just something I kind of have to do anyway to make me feel better about myself. It's just the way I've processed things. It's one of the things that I do in order to, like, get all my creepy, big old emotions out. But there's also been a time where it's like every morning I'm going to write in my journal. I'm not a fucking, like, journal writer. I don't do that. But
I love it. Everyone should do it.
I know everybody should. And I say that because it's like, I'm not a fucking journal writer because there's something about it that drives me insane.
About like the Nickelodeon show, that girl, what was it?
I don't know.
What was it?
Maybe there's some
You should know. You should know. It was when you were a kid. A few years before I was. I don't fucking remember.
But I started doing it and it was amazing. And I should do it again. It unlocks things. So like maybe like maybe I'm not a writer and I'm never going to write a fucking, novel. But what it does is that discipline unlocks the rest of it.
You get to practice thoughts.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really cool. I love it because I get stupid out and I get smart out.
Yeah.
It clears out the stupid, so there's more room for smart. And then it clears out the old smart, so new smart can come in. And I'm saying it really simple because I've said this before. I like saying things in the least amount of words, in the most simple amount of words, to be the most understood. That's totally fine.
No, totally. And I get it. There's
Why say many word when few word do trick? Like that's how I think.
Yeah, totally. Sometimes you just have to get like thought trash out. Whether that's like, sometimes that's music thought trash for me. Sometimes like I will never play this song ever. This is awful. But a lot of it, is similar to how I'm a vocal processor.
You're warming up.
Yeah, you're warming up. You're
It's a
warming
warm-up.
up your whatever wherever your creativity lives or whatever. I think my relationship with that process is ever evolving, and it's always kind of changing depending on my needs and my time. As long as I'm doing something, it's good.
That's good. I like that. I can respect that, and I fucking one of these days I'm probably gonna be in the same boat where I'm like, next weekend it's on. This weekend, no.
Yeah. But similar, what I was gonna say is like similar. This is just a thought that like I had too much coffee. I'm gonna warn you. My thoughts are like going everywhere.
I can't.
But similar to how I'm a vocal processor, I've noticed that like when I'm thinking about something that's like a problem or something that keeps coming up, if it's a thought that I've had more than 5 times that day, like to sit down and like fully write out what I'm thinking, it sounds so simple, just like you were saying, but it totally puts things in that perspective. Like you're just looking at it on a page, and you're like, oh.
You're so true. You're so true. It's so true. You're so right. That's how I feel. Like when I get a fucking, I'm just gonna relate because jokes are the only thing I really fucking write down. As soon as I write it down, I'm like, that was stupid. I had a stupid thought this time. I got the stupid out, or you know, I love that. Or like, it's so funny because so much of comedy is just being relatable and someone saying the words that everyone else has thought 5 times that day.
Yeah,
and
totally.
that's so much of like, oh my god, like. Well, you know, whatever. I can't think of a joke right now. I'm not that funny, but
but yeah, there's something that clicks, and that's
absolutely.
what people want. They want connection. I think in any entertainment, you want to be able. It's again like a mirroring. You want to be like, oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, like the Brita water filter thing is a universal joke. Someone wrote that down. Like, oh, I would never drink tap water. I have to put it through my filter I haven't changed in 5 years.
Yeah,
like
totally.
That's hilarious. Everyone says that. Everyone can relate to that joke. That's exactly what someone had to write those fucking words down. That's what tweets are. That's the only thing people should tweet are jokes. Nothing else.
I definitely do not have a Twitter. I might have a Twitter out there in the universe, but
I know. I forgot I had a Twitter. I went to
my name might be on there.
Yeah, I went to go sign up a Twitter, and it was like, you already have a Twitter? We got you, bitch. I'm like, oh, no. Like, we've already bought your soul long ago.
I really wonder what like the next thing is going to be.
I know. It's TikTok.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
It's totally TikTok. And like the more it's evolving, because like no one liked Facebook when it started, or like Snapchat and Instagram. Like these all started very, like think about if you had to use Instagram, how it was 6 years ago.
I don't
would
remember
throw
that.
up on my phone and throw it into the fucking ocean.
What was it like?
It was gross and blue, and
Oh.
and the fucking, it had like a gross icon on your phone, and the filters were garbage. It still kind of suck. And it was gross. I did not like it.
Really interesting. My partner, part of what he does is design apps, and so like the idea of like designing it, like what it looks like, not even like the function sometimes, but just like
Aesthetic
this
is so
icon like needs to be like this or whatever, and I'll like
There's so much like, there's such a mentality to it. Like there's absolutely like, I'm gonna click on this icon today because it hits better.
yeah,
Like I don't like using Snapchat. It's the last app I click on because I don't fucking like the yellow logo.
Yeah.
I love the color yellow, but the rest of the apps around social media aren't that color. It's the last one in the scheme. It is the weirdo. It's the gross one. I don't fucking know. Someone had to do that.
It's really interesting. Like, I mean, I don't know anything about it, but I'm sure there's a lot of psychology behind like why people are attracted to certain things or not when you're functioning with them daily. Like intuitive, design is really important, and I appreciate it in a way that I don't know. Like maybe I didn't used to think that way.
I appreciate it because it's like that's how they're controlling us.
Yeah.
There's like a dark beauty to the fact that
No,
like we're literally
totally.
like entranced in this bullshit. That's like, oh the edges on my phone are comfortable now. Like wow, I love that. That's so cool.
I know it's hard. Like as any sort of entertainer, or God, I would never call myself an entertainer. That feels gross. But
You've been so entertaining.
I've been so entertaining. But anybody who has something they're trying to promote and something that they're doing that they're sharing with people.
You want to express something.
Yeah, and so like you have to use social media. And I'm not like I hate social media, but it's like it's really part of what I do for other companies is I do like social media design for them, and I'll like there's a winery I work for, and I run their Instagram, and it's about like creating the brand and like the brand aesthetic, and that is really creative and really interesting to me. But there's definitely a dark side to our phones. Somebody just called. I was listening to a podcast and they called it a distraction computer, and I was like, "That's it.
That's exactly what it is." I got the new iPhone, and for the first, let's see, I've had it since October, and for the first 5 months, which will be next month, I haven't been able to put it down.
Yeah.
I have not been able to like stop looking at it. I'm always like, new app, what do I go to next? It's so big and pretty, and I'm like sucked into it.
Yeah.
I don't even go on apps. I just have to look at the screen sometimes and just look at all these apps I don't use. Beautiful.
Well, it's like a weird comfort thing. Like I have been a smoker on and off most of my life. Like I quit when I had my kids and I was like pregnant and breastfeeding and all of that. And then I got divorced and I was like, well, I guess I'm going to start smoking again. And so I've been on and off, like I've been taking those like nicotine mints or whatever they work.
I would love to take some of those because just for the mental stimulus that it provides. That's how like Stephen King wrote.
It's pretty great. But what was I saying was the question. Oh yeah. So like, it's very similar to like that kind of habit where it's like, oh, I'm feeling a certain way, so I need to go have a cigarette or I need a nicotine. Sometimes it's not even the craving. It's just like, oh, I'm feeling slightly uncomfortable. And that's how I feel about my phone. We're like, oh, I'm feeling slightly uncomfortable. Let me look at my phone real quick.
I love it. I love the whole like control part of it. It's hilarious to me. I also love when you're self-aware of it and you're like, no phone.
Yeah.
Like this is a great exercise to me in not using my phone.
Totally.
Is we're talking about it and I feel like it's getting hotter in my pocket. Like I'm dead serious. Like yeah. It's listening and it's going, let's turn the heat up. Let's warm it up. Let's get the and it's like moving. And then I have ghost vibrations and I'm like, my phone's in the other room. How'd you know? And I walk into the room. There's nothing on it, and I'm like, it just wanted its daddy back.
Yeah,
like it's slowly implanting. Yeah, So I love when I'm in an environment when phones are just like inappropriate.
Yeah,
and you're just not. You can't have them. I love going to the movie theater. I love the podcast doing this. I love anything that like. I even hate the fact that because I want to do stand up a lot. The idea is to record your sets, voice memo, and to listen back and fix your fuck ups and whatever, keep what's good. I hate that.
Doesn't it change your set though? Even that one little press?
Absolutely, because I go to the Comedy Store in Hollywood and it's world class comedians, and every person comes out and they come out and they go and they have a mic and they sit on the stool and they go click that, and then they start and then they like check the time on their phone sometimes, and it's and it sucks because it's like I agree you should be doing that because you're gonna be a better comedian for it, but it's also like you gotta have your fucking phone up there, really?
Yeah,
it's weird.
I got a really cheap watch, so it broke immediately. But for a while, it's like I was tired of like if I was playing along. I don't really play long gigs anymore.
This is exactly what I was gonna go to.
Yeah, but like having a watch was like it felt so much better, and like actually writing down my set list instead of like this is like my list of songs. Hold on, guys. You know, like.
Oh, I know when someone has their like phone and they're looking at the lyrics, like it drives me nuts. I'm like, oh gross.
Yeah,
like,
that's
fucking write them down, like clearly. But I also fucked up and wrote my set down on the same notepad. So small, couldn't read it. It was dark. It was a fucking disaster. Bombed horribly.
Oh,
It was great. Yeah. So it was a tough one. But no, yeah, I'm thinking about getting a watch
get a
very
watch,
soon,
dude.
just because I'm like, I don't need because most of the time I'm like, what time is it? And I look at my phone and I'm like, but what's everything else?
Exactly.
What's this handheld device that accesses all known human information? Let's open. I'm like, what can I get sucked into next? And there's, there is something to be said for how much of the shit I found on my phone and through the apps where I'm like, I'm glad I found that. I'm glad that happened.
Oh,
I wouldn't have
100%.
discovered that without that. That hat over there and this t-shirt are both brands I've never heard of until they were an ad on like Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing their shit.
I've bought some Instagram ad stuff that's been pretty great. I was thinking one was like a butt scrub. I loved it. It was fantastic. But there's also like mostly like what I found is like there's obviously there's an artist community here, but it's very limited because there's a small town. So like being able to interact with people in that way and like discover new artists is amazing. Most of my Instagram is like, yeah, there's musicians on there, but a lot of it's just like visual arts, which I don't really get to interact with much in my daily life. And that feels really good. Or like a lot of sick photographers. And then there's musicians I've met via Instagram that we followed each other and now like we're friends.
That's
like,
awesome.
oh, hey, I was in Portland and now I moved to Santa Barbara. And it's like, oh, you know that person? I know that person.
That's the trip.
Oh my
What
God.
a fucking small world. I love that.
So like there's good things. There's good things.
There
about it.
absolutely is. And it's so cool that there's so much information out there. And like I have fucking thousands of people listening to a podcast and I'm like, oh, I didn't do that. The phone did that.
Yeah.
The phone, I had to do the phone and be like, podcast, listen now. And then everyone's like, okay. And fucking here I am. And I think that's like a trip because I don't know all those people. There's people in other countries where I'm like, never gonna meet you, weirdo. Why do you listen to this?
Why did you find me?
But if you're listening to this in anywhere but America right now, thank you so much.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love you guys. Any country, every country. I don't even care if you're like some evil dictator I don't care if Kim Jong dictator pants in North Korea is listening. I'm happy to have you. That'd be funny if like the chart, the like map of listeners, like North Korea just got all big. Like, oh shit. Like this is okay over there. Sorry, lost your train of thought.
No, you're so good. No, I was just thinking, I was lost in my own train of thought of like what we were talking about earlier about like, oh yeah, kids these days, they don't know how to communicate. But it's like also like I've never been able to communicate with this many people in such an intimate way before either.
In such an instant way too. It's
yeah.
Instimate. Damn. Named the episode. Thank you. And there it is, folks. Instamint. All right. Everyone's going to be like, you guys talk about mints? You pop really quick? I'm like, no, it's not.
Don't just listen.
Instamint. I put mint like a moron.
Yeah.
Okay. Guess the farther I get away from high school, the dumber I become.
Well, nobody needs to know how to spell anymore. It's fine.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
No, I hate that. Someone put stories because they were talking about stories on Facebook, but they wrote it in the possessive way, apostrophe S.
Yeah.
And I was like, mute, unfollow. I can't read your dumb shits anymore.
I've been trying to be more lenient with stuff like that because I used to be like, and I'm always like, if I type the wrong "you're," I'm like, asterisk "you're." I didn't mean it that way.
No, yeah, I just let it slide so much more than I ever have. But there's some that slip through the cracks where I'm like, that was a big fuck up. Stories, really? You know, there's another stories, asshole.
Yeah.
That's a totally different word. It changes the function of the sentence. Fuck off. You know, you were in your. It's so funny that people corrected your so much that now people use apostrophe RE in the possessive more than they use the other one.
My gosh,
and it's hilarious. I notice it and I'm like,
or like when people use I in the wrong way where they're like, you know, so and so and I, and they're using it in the and you should use me. Like you're actually not using it correctly.
Yeah,
this time.
I get that. I get that fucked up. I say whom just for the ass of it.
Yeah,
anytime.
exactly.
I'm
It's
just
like
and the whomst did and me. I do things.
I have a weird relationship with my intelligence. I know I'm a smart person, but I didn't go to.
No, you seriously are. Like that first 15 minutes, I was like, I gotta drink more coffee. I gotta fucking catch up here.
Thank you, sir. But I didn't go to school really. I dropped out in 7th grade.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay because I think formal education is only good for the tests they give you, and really past your developmental ages, like it is honestly atrocious. And unless you find your career through that schooling, I think people should be homeschooled a lot of the time.
Well, the problem is homeschool is also people who can homeschool have privilege.
They do. And they also, I have a lot of homeschool friends who are a bunch of fucking psychopaths.
Yeah.
They're all fucking whacked out of their minds, but they're also way more functional in society as members of society than any of my normal friends. Because I feel like everyone's so indoctrinated, for lack of a better term,
it's
in
the
public
capitalist
schools.
Patriarchal society.
Oh, I mean, I am all of that. I am capitalist and a patriarchal. So I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, so if my son, I'm kicking his ass into public school, be like, go make money and fuck bitches, bro. So I'm definitely going to kick him there. But it's not even like in those parameters. It's just like, it's not, the education's become not practical. And it's very just, getting returns on your investments in the educational programs. And I don't like that.
Oh, yeah.
And these kids come out and they're stupid, like me. I went to fucking a lot of schools and damn, am I dumb. It did not help. The not going to school, like my street smarts, I use that shit way more. I had so many people, like teachers that are like passionate, but they're like stuck in the system. Like, I'm just a cog in the machine. I know this is the man, and these schools and these tests, you don't need them. They'd grab me by the collar after school and be like, Dallas, you're a shitty student. Why can't you just work for it? I know you're smart. And I'm like, I'm sorry. They're like, give me my Bukowski book back. And I'm like, okay. So it was, I don't read Bukowski. That was a joke. But,
I almost scanned your bookshelf. But...
Dude, I have so many books. Scan all of them.
Let me scan them
There
books.
is a Bukowski right there.
I know. That's why I mentioned that.
Embarrassing. Is there? Oh, Jesus. It's not mine. It's not mine. It's my dear friend and multiple time guest Clara Cobb's book. She brought a couple of those books for me, and she's like, "Listen, I know you don't like Bukowski because you're trash, but
here,
I have this
eat
book,
it up."
and it's women." And I'm like, "Oh hell yeah, I should love this." And the first thing he's like talking about, the first couple pages, he like has this lady over, and they're like getting drunk and fucking, and I'm like, "Why haven't I been reading Bukowski?" You know.
Yeah, you're in your 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should be reading Bukowski.
Well, no, because I had asked. So the story behind this, the reason I made the teacher joke is because all that was true except I had went up to my teacher and I was like, "Hey, do you have any like Charles Bukowski?" And he looked at me and he went, "I have something better." And
what was it?
And he brought me over and he grabbed this fucking garbage shit. He's like, "I have something better. It's more your speed." And he handed me this portable Henry Rollins.
Oh shit.
And it changed my life.
That's amazing.
It like seriously, like I almost turned into like a weird psychodepressive alcoholic asshole that likes Bukowski. Instead, I got to be like, oh, I can be the big bulk-headed motherfucking jock punk guy.
Yeah.
And he's such a like sweetheart, softy, like liberal guy. Like, and I was like, hell yeah. And he has this whole fucking page, this whole chapter called The Iron about lifting weights. And I'm like, that doesn't sound very like gay rights of you, bro. But then when I think about like West Hollywood Gold Gym, it does. But, and I was like, oh, okay. So it was just this weird like bridging gap of like my adolescent like sensitivity to things.
Yeah.
And also like being comfortable with like masculinity and like strength and like,
Totally.
oh my God. So like I really need this and super happy I got this instead of Bukowski at the time.
Yeah.
So I would never tell someone they should be reading Bukowski, even if they were in their 20s. When you said that,
No,
I was like, I'm offended.
I was just kidding. I actually, honestly, like I have thoughts about the kind of like, oh yeah, Charles Bukowski and like Jack Kerouac and like young men in their 20s. But like, I honestly don't know enough to speak intelligently about it that I'm not going to even like go
Sweetie,
down that
this is the
fucking
Bad
road.
Etiquette podcast. We do not speak intelligently
I know,
about
but, like,
things. We make sweeping generalizations and make funny jokes about them.
I get it. I'm aware of my limitations and knowledge about Charles Bukowski. But I do know it's like, yeah, there's a lot of shit about women that ain't that great. But you know, I haven't read a full book.
That's why I'm excited to read it, dude.
Exactly.
I want someone to put my thoughts into words and go, hey, that is gross, because I'm not writing them down. I'm just kidding. I'm just I'm like ironically sexist.
Yeah.
I've discovered.
It's really interesting. Like sometimes I like there like we were talking about like horror movies earlier, and it's like overtly like sexual and like it's like, oh god. Well, and some of them are like oh, that makes me like, that's not good. And then some of them is like, actually this is kind of like
the most feminist thing I've ever seen.
It just depends.
I love it. Yeah. No.
Well, and it's the idea of like objectification as opposed to like you know, and also objectification with consent is totally fine too, if I'm gonna be weird about it. But
that's not weird. That's totally awesome.
Yeah.
Watch a horror movie without objectification and you're like, I'm just kind of missing something.
Right.
But you watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre and then there's the ass shot when she's walking. They still parody that in movies today. It's amazing.
Also, like, there's nothing wrong with like being sensual or sexual or any of that. Then you get into like slut shaming and stuff. So it's like, it's a very common
and I remember when I found out what slut shaming was, I was a little teenage boy and I was like, oh, they're being mean to my sluts. Like, I was like, oh my God, those are the only people that are going to sleep with me. How dare you? So I was like, and no slut shaming. I was a big old feminist boy growing up.
Good.
For the most part.
I knew I liked you for a reason.
Yeah. well, no, it got revoked. I got my feminist card revoked. This gay guy was like, no, He's like, you're not a feminist. You can't call people cunts. And I'm like, then I'm not a feminist. I don't care. I said, I was like, listen, I don't give a fuck if I'm called that or if anyone thinks I'm
Right.
that. I will still operate and like defend people's dignities and rights and vice versa. You know, and I'm going to make fun of you for having fucking blue hair and bangs and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we all have like, whether it's societal or just our own thoughts, like we all have thoughts that aren't great.
I've never agreed with everything that someone said.
No. And we'll all have thoughts that are like kind of shitty about people, you know, like whether it's like objectification or if it's, you know, like racism. Like I know like for a fact that that's something I have to work on. I'm definitely not racist, but I am a white woman who has a fuck ton of privilege who's never really engaged with like societal racism enough. Like that's something I need to be working on.
It's not difficult to have prejudices.
Yeah.
It just watching enough movies, you're like, I gotta stay away from alleys and black dudes together, you know, because you're like, oh, it's bad in movies, right?
Well,
it's not hard to
some
like.
of it's just very not conscious. It's never like, oh, I am having this horrible thought about this race that's not, you know, mine. It's just like the way we interact with people and like what we assume with
I just
people.
wrote a joke about this. This is so
Really?
funny. I was like, I can't speak Spanish, but I can speak broken English to someone else speaking broken English very well.
Yeah.
You know, when someone's like can't speak English well and you start getting like your English starts getting worse to talk to them, hoping they'll understand it. We all do that. And I'm like, oh, locky? And I'm like, oh, why did I do that?
Why
Just
am I
say
doing this?
Yeah, and I'm like, what an asshole.
Well,
It's like this weird condescending thing we do. So yeah.
Totally. So my friend got married in Oaxaca and it was my first time in Mexico. It was fucking amazing of you. I was so pissed because it was like on January 1st and I was like, oh my God, it's right after the holidays. Like I have no fucking money. And like, I'm playing, like I was excited to obviously be there for a wedding, but I was like, nice timing, dudes. And it really was. It was actually perfect. Like I needed a break.
I needed to not spend all that money that I didn't have left.
Yeah, well, true. Well, that's the thing is like I bought the ticket like on a credit card like a year before, and then I got there and I was like, dude, I have like maybe $200 to work with when I'm like international and like.
Well,
but it
works.
was Mexico.
Yeah, so it works. My
It
friend
worked.
was just in Mexico. He was sending me like prices for things.
Yeah,
I was like,
I could feed myself the whole time.
oh my God, buy me a family down there while you're at it.
Yeah, the best food I had there was street food, and it was like $3 for dinner for 4. You know, it was amazing.
That's crazy.
But Oaxaca is just a fucking magical place, and there's so much artistry and like craftsmanship and like so much respect.
They have a different kind of food down there than like central Mexico.
Yeah,
I learned
it's like
And-
mole and like this amazing cheese and like, oh my God, crickets. Mezcal.
It looked like you
amazing.
almost thought that was disgusting, but
But it was
you were like, I
delicious.
loved it.
Yeah.
Mezcal. I like mezcal. The smokiness of mezcal is my guy. I love that.
Yeah, it has to be. I'm a kind of a snob when it comes to like
Good.
alcohol.
People should have standards, I think.
I've had like bad mezcal before, and it's like, oh man, I was just at a campsite for 5 hours and I was drinking Jameson and I smoked 500 cigarettes, and that's now I smell like this and I woke up. Like that's how it makes me feel sometimes. But what I was getting at is like I felt like such a fucking idiot not knowing how to speak Spanish there. I was like, I live in California. I understand a lot of what people are saying, but I cannot communicate. And like most people, you know,
Were they all like, fucking speak Spanish or go home?
no, exactly. And that's the thing. It's so gnarly. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. Like most people, you know, we could communicate. Like most people knew enough English to communicate with me, but I'm the one who's being an idiot.
How long ago is this?
This was this year.
Oh my God. There's this amazing app. I use it sometimes when I'm communicating. If I have like a big thought that I don't know enough Spanish words
Totally.
for, I'll have to communicate like it's called Converse or Converse if you like shoes. And it's literally
I'm
like
going to write that down.
yeah, fucking
Yeah. You know,
it's
I
like
had
this. Tap and hold to translate, excuse me. And I can literally just
You can just
translate
talk
it.
in it?
Yeah, watch like English or Spanish. So hi, Emily is my friend. And then
amazing.
yeah, just like that. Just like that.
That's great.
It's that easy.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. And yeah, but it's one of like now that's one of my goals is like I have to be multilingual. Like I can't just, you know.
I think everyone it's the most impressive thing, like learn a couple languages.
Yeah.
Learn 1.5 languages. I'm still learning English, but I'll get there. There's nothing more impressive than someone can speak
Well, it's
more
just,
than one
it's
language.
kind of just like the responsible thing to do. Like you're a part of a world.
Oh,
And if you want
dude.
to communicate with the world,
Like people who live like in Canada that don't know French. Like,
yeah. Or people that live in
some.
California who don't know Spanish.
I mean, fucking, I don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm trying to make it not about us, damn it.
No, truly, it's, you know, and anywhere you go in the rest of the world, most people know multiple languages, and it's I think it's kind of just shitty that.
I mean,
it's
I
not
gotta
a
be no, I gotta
priority.
be honest. If you're in the Midwest and you have no Mexicans, I don't give a shit if you speak Spanish. That
No.
makes sense.
No, I know, I get it,
But if you live in like a heavily mixed population, like pick up a few words, sister.
No, totally. And I have enough of that, but I definitely felt like, I guess, vulnerable and incapable, you know, for
Where you're
part
like,
of
oh my
it.
God, I'm just this white lady,
I'm the
and I'm
worst."
walking around with my privilege all over
Yeah,
you.
exactly. Like, fuck. But it was a beautiful, beautiful trip, and I got to play a lot of guitar and walk around a beautiful city, and I don't know. I love traveling. I really love it. I need more of it in my life.
I think everyone does. I really wish I could get my dad to travel because I think it would just change his entire like world sphere.
Perspective,
Because
yeah.
he's just like a very like classic Republican man, and I'm okay with that. But I think that a lot of the things that come with that might be could be like a little negative.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of people associate that with like some xenophobia, maybe some racial prejudice, maybe some homophobia. And, you know, he doesn't express a whole lot of that, but sometimes he does. And I'm like, dude, we're like one plane trip away from that never happening again.
Yeah.
I know it. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And I love that. And I'm like, oh, shit. Although it is funny. I did go to Tennessee and I'm like, man, fucking white people do suck. Like, I just hated them more.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was lucky enough that
That was a joke. They were fantastic themselves.
just kidding. But I had a cousin. I was never close with them, but in Georgia. And
Like, I was never close with this asshole I'm about to roast right now.
Hold on. But she lived in like southern Georgia, and I was like visiting. Somehow I got to like visit my friend who moved to like West Virginia from here, and then I also was gonna like meet my cousin, and. Thanks, cousin. That's where I started smoking cigarettes at 13 and like riding
you
on
started late.
four-wheelers. Yeah.
Started kind of late.
But I could not believe the racism. It was such a shock to
Oh,
me.
it's not like a stereotype. It's real right there.
In that household, in that area, it was. And so like throwing the N-word around and like how they spoke about like Hispanics, it was so gnarly. I was like, come to California.
Oh my
Talk
God.
like that in California.
Yeah, we're gonna
see what fucking happens.
Throw soy lattes at you hard, son.
It was just, it's crazy. Like, you know, people.
Well, but then they think they're like, what are you gonna do? Pussy, liberal. You know, they're gonna be like, ah.
But so much of like just being able to experience other cultures is so important. And like I was about to bring up like, yeah, I was 14, I got to go to Scotland. Not like it's a super different culture.
I got to see other white people.
Yeah.
It still sucks. I don't
Totally.
know.
But what it did do is it gave me like autonomy, like being able to kind of travel alone a little bit, like in
Cool.
my spurts.
I have a friend who wants to travel alone.
Yeah.
And she is a woman. What do you suggest to travel alone comfortably as a woman?
Well, I mean, I don't travel a lot because I have 2 kids to raise, but when I do, and I've done it alone, like I went to New York alone for the first time years ago. It was my first time to New York, and I was alone. And
Wow.
I, you know, played like a music festival in Manhattan, but then I also like went over to like Brooklyn and like met somebody, and we like made some music, and then I like was on the subway at 1 a.m. on the way back to Manhattan, and like I was a little scared and my phone was dead, and like somebody was like fighting with their girlfriend. It got a little physical. I was like, fuck, dude, you know. And like you're just around a lot of people, and like people who are out late at night, you know. And this guy came up to me and was like, hey, I like your boots. I'm like, thanks, you know. And we started a conversation. At first I was like, oh, heckles up, like I'm gonna make sure. The guy was totally chill. We went to a diner, we talked. He was also a musician. It was fine. I don't know, I think it's like a lot of it is just like really being in touch with your own intuition. I know that sounds super like woo-woo and lame, but like be aware of your surroundings, be prepared. Don't let your phone fucking die, you know? But I've never, luckily enough, like any sort of harassment has not been through traveling. It's been in my daily fucking life.
Yeah, I was
know?
going to say I feel most in danger when I'm walking through my own neighborhood.
Well, it's just like it's everywhere, you know. I think if you're confronting like sexism or people being dicks, it's gonna be fucking everywhere, and it's never been worse when I'm
if you put yourself
traveling.
in someone else's conflict, you're gonna ask for trouble in that conflict. And Also, the phone thing kind of brings up an interesting point. I don't think there's anything that a phone being alive can protect you from that it being dead would prevent.
I guess you're right. For me, it's like
like there is like the
ability to call
911,
somebody,
but it's like they're not there yet, and they won't get there yet. And I think you should still fucking call if there's an emergency, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think there's you have a personal responsibility, and that is outside of your own autonomy. That is not you. You know, the phone's not you. I think people should have personal responsibility and like physical comfort, safety, and self-awareness and intuition.
Yeah, a lot of it is being aware of your surroundings. And I like when I was younger, I took some self-defense. Like I would like to do that again. I tend not to because my hands and I play music and I don't want to fuck up my hands.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't want to fuck up my hands, but I think it is important. I don't know. I mean, a lot of the situations I've definitely been in physically dangerous situations before, and you know, a lot of it was because I wasn't being aware of where I was, or I was, you know, I wasn't in a safe place. So it's being aware of your surroundings, being capable. You know, you don't want to like go to a new place and get wasted and like not be able to, not that it would be your fault if anything happened, but that's just my safety thing of like I need to be aware of everything that's going on around me.
Yeah, responsibility starts with yourself.
Yeah.
You know, because then if someone's personally responsible, they're not doing something to the drunk person also.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's hard. Like I've definitely like seen people, you know, in situations that like probably weren't good, and I've had to like, are you good? Are you sure you're good?
Yeah.
Let me call you a cab.
And they're compromised. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. It's sadly the way the world is right now, but
I mean, I got to tell you, from everything I've learned in history, I like it now a lot better than like 10, 20 years ago.
It was so funny. I was thinking about this earlier when we were talking, but people are always like, like if you could go back in time, like where would you go? And I'm like, fucking nowhere.
I could go to any place back in time. I would be very comfortable, sister.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, absolutely nowhere else.
I'm like, I don't know. When was peak white guy? I will go there. I think that's where I'll go.
A Mad Men era.
Oh, God. Don't even talk about it. I've never even watched it, but the idea of like scotch and then smacking my fucking secretary on the ass or face. Oh, my God. I'm going to binge that tonight. Ugh.
Yeah, I think confronting sexism in like a positive way, like with those fantasies is really good. And I think that's where like, you know, people who are into kink or like BDSM, they can like work that stuff out in a really healthy way.
No, I just want to objectify a woman, smack her on the ass in an office setting. I don't know what you're talking about. That's not, no. Dude, I want to be day drunk, have a steak in or around my mouth, and when my secretary bends over, say, "Hey, nice ass," and smack it. That's not my only fucking Mad Men era. You said it.
I brought it on.
You could have said Roman times, and I've been like, yeah, Caligula, let's cut her head off and fuck it. But I'm not gonna, you know. So there's all kinds of different times.
Yeah, you have your choice.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of like the place where like the worst place to be a white guy would be, and I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure it's the slave owners the day after slavery was ended. I'm pretty sure I don't want to be that guy there.
Don't be that guy.
Hey, guys. Someone has an amazing joke about it, and I'm totally like stealing it.
Do you know who it
right
is?
now. I can't, right?
It's okay.
I can't think of it right now, but it might have been Chappelle. I'd hate to be like, oh, we're good, right? That's the joke. Like, like, we're good, right?
All right, bees.
All these giant, like, farm-worked people with amazing farm strength, and you're just sitting there like, what whip? You know? Oh, no.
I've just been a horrible human being my whole life. Don't worry about it.
Jesus, I wonder how many slave owners were just removed from their bodies.
Oh, their heads?
Yeah.
Do you think of yourself as your head?
No, I just think about like a big, beautiful ex-slave taking a nasty old white Southerner by the head. And
popping it right off. I got you.
No, like Predator style, like spinal cord and skull, like, which, you know, by all means, I'm pretty sure a lot of them deserve that. But they're all dead now anyway, so they got what was coming to them. Sad thing, all the slaves are now dead too. So, I mean, that's not sad that
Right.
The
But
slaves
that-
are gone.
that
Well, I mean,
people-
those
that
people also
human
died.
beings
I gotta
died.
word this carefully.
Yeah, careful.
It's so funny how easily you can say the wrong thing and go, damn, I lost my whole job over that shit. I didn't mean it like that.
Yeah, I've definitely I am definitely a little bit of a woo woo person. A lot of podcasts I listen to are like
Before
very
we started, she was
woke.
like, Mercury's retrograde.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm a little woo woo. Okay.
we could get into that, but I won't. But I will say that like any of the quote unquote woke podcasts that I listen to, and
This
they're
is
like,
not one of them.
yeah, and that's totally fine. I'm down, but they will say things. They're like uber politically correct to like a point where sometimes it's like
I roll hard.
But
yeah.
people are really, really trying.
That's really funny that you say that. I'm sorry. Finish your
Yeah,
thought.
but they'll fuck up. People will call them out and they'll be like, hey, like when you said that, that's actually pretty offensive to this group of people. Or like you're kind of utilizing this theory that's actually like, was based here and you didn't reference that. And like, they'll just go on the next week and be like, I'm sorry, like we got it. Like I'm learning, like we are constantly trying to like learn to be better people. And I think as long as you're trying to learn and be a better person and to understand like cultures outside of your own, it's important.
That's so funny that you said that, like, you listen to the amount of like woke podcasts and they have those sensibilities. Because when I started listening to podcasts, I was very much like peak woke, and I liked it because I was like, oh, these people are saying things that are politically incorrect, and this is the only space that I find that this
Totally.
is tolerated in.
Yeah.
This is awesome. And I remember there's this writer. He's this absolutely Hollywood elite, but he's like a gay guy, and he says like some of the most like politically incorrect things like I had ever heard. And I was like, can he get away with them because he's gay, or is he just like, is he gonna get demonized when if people don't know he's gay, and like all kinds of like, oh my god, like where's this happening? And it was one of the first podcasts I listened to. Bret Easton Ellis, the guy who wrote American Psycho.
Oh.
And he says some shit but he says it with like the absolute like most insanely like, I have no vocabulary and no depth of thought compared to this man.
Yeah.
But he was one of the people where I was like, oh my God, like he can say like whatever the fuck. Like, I hope my friends don't listen to this someday because
Right.
I hope my friends don't know I'm listening to this. And it was, but it was just like theoretical. Like he'd just like rant about like Hollywood, like feminism in movies and sexism,
Yeah.
and like trying, and I'd be like, oh my God, like no one talks about that. And this is the other angle. And it was like, there's other side of the conversation that people were muting and they're having. And then I started listening to comedians, and then it got less serious. And I'm like, everyone just fucking, and now I have a podcast and say stupid shit all the time.
And
Full
the
circle.
cycle continues.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think an idea that I haven't really been thinking about it a lot recently, but I like the idea of radical empathy, where it's like, it sounds super woo-woo, but it's not. It's kind of like, I should be able to sit down and have a conversation with somebody who thinks really horrible things, at least in my opinion, like, or has these prejudices or has these ideas, is like, yeah, I'm a pretty fucking liberal person, and I should be able to sit down with a really conservative person who's like super pro-life and talk about it without it being super emotional. And that's really hard for me. But that's the only way that we can ever kind of like try to understand
bridge
each
the gap,
other.
talk to the person. I used to get physically uncomfortable and my whole body would get hot and red, and I'd get anxious whenever I saw like a MAGA hat. But now I'm just like, I'm gonna talk to this person.
Yeah, like
they're more than that hat.
I'm
That
never
hat
going to
wasn't
put
there.
myself through a conversation with somebody I don't want to have. Like, I will have that boundary. If somebody says something really offensive to me, I will state my opinion. But there is something to be said. It's like, yeah, why did you vote for Trump? Because I can see
people have
why.
their thoughts. There's like
I
all
can
of
totally
middle
see
America.
why.
Yeah.
Because like the system fucking sucks and you wanted to change it and you're barely fucking making it. And some guy is telling you that he can fix your problems.
Shit, yeah.
Why
If I
not?
was in
Yeah.
there, if I was in like middle America, like that would be like, yeah, damn right. Like I'm clearly, there's heroin everywhere. Maybe this guy's gonna change things.
Who knows? Yeah, but you'll never know unless you talk, and like, I don't know. It's hard. And I've definitely gotten in conversations that's like hitting my head against a wall, and I don't do that anymore.
Oh yeah, I used to have parties at this place a lot, and inevitably there'd always be people in the garage arguing about like politics, and I would just like like, what the fuck? Like, guys, stop. This is so weird and gross. Like, you're not getting anywhere, and it's 4 a.m. Leave, bitch.
Yeah, totally. People get in this just weird chasing tail sort of a thing.
Yeah,
which
it's
isn't.
like, I just agree to disagree. I know when I'm not going to agree with someone, but if they want to talk about something, I'll bridge a gap.
Yeah.
I'll fucking extend an olive branch. Like, that'd be really cool. But if there's some like ideological differences, I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Most of the time, no, we're not changing anything. I, for the most part, think very similarly to when I was a 16-year-old in philosophy class. And I was learning what these different ideologies were in different like places. I'm like, okay, that's very cool. You know, I'm growing. I'm more tolerant of like religion than I've ever been, and more tolerant of I'm not very tolerant at all, but you know what I mean?
But you're a little more.
I'm getting a little more.
Yeah.
With each podcast, I can hear myself getting like nicer and more sensitive. And I'm like, oh, and I like think about things. And sorry, the podcast sucks. No,
This is
fine,
the last
guys.
one, actually. Sorry, guys.
I say that
Too
joke
sensitive
every
now.
time. Well, it's funny because it's either, oh, I think I'm getting like too sensitive, but sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm getting canceled for that episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I just a moment is coming up in my head, kind of like, we can stop talking about that, but
Anytime.
it was actually a serving moment, and there was like a black guy from the military there, and I was serving him, and there was somebody talking about like something a little racially like sensitive.
Oh, I get like, I get big, like,
Yeah, and it was really uncomfortable for me, and I was just like, oh my God, dude, you know? And we ended up, me and this guy, the military guy, we ended up talking, and I was like, are you okay? Like, you know, I don't know. Somehow it came into like, you know, he's like, yeah, I'm good, you know, da 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 da. And he's kind of talking about like, you know, like racism that he deals with, and then somehow it got into like talking about sexism that I deal with, and like we both kind of just saw something in each other that we both have no experience in, and just like, oh, you're a human, you deal with that. I didn't realize you dealt with that.
both
and
of
like,
you have to defeat people's expectations of you.
Yeah.
Every time you interact.
Yeah.
Every time you talk to a white guy, like
Yeah.
he has to not be a black stereotype, and you have to not be a woman stereotype. You have to be people, and you have to defeat those. And it's probably you putting in a little more effort with each interaction with people than like I fucking put in. I mean, in a way, I'm like, I don't want to be like a gross, boring, like white guy. Like I don't want to be stale crackers. Actually, I found out that's not why they say cracker. But continue.
yeah. No, that's basically it. It's just like there are times in my life where I've been able to have conversations with either people who I disagree with or people who, you know, are going through a different struggle. And it's like, it's not like sometimes it's not this like crazy struggle. It's just like, it's a daily thing. It's something that beats you down over time. You know, it's just like people like whittle away.
Yeah, people can
Well, I
become
think
bitter.
Now it's a little, what's really interesting is this next generation is like the idea of like gender fluid is amazing to me. Like that as a society, we're becoming more and more comfortable with it. And I'm very excited about like the future. That makes me excited about the future. I'm like, these young dudes, they know what's up, you know, like they're becoming more tolerant and more aware of each other.
I think without a doubt, I've never seen so many people tolerant of people that I would classify as like weirdos or like people acting like strange or just doing it for attention. Like I've never seen such a group of people go, yeah, that's okay. That's cool. That's normal. It's like my version of like trying to advocate for like gay marriage being legalized when I was younger. Like these kids are doing it in a different way. Now this is a conversation to have. I don't believe in gender fluidity. So, like I'm like, there's one or the other. What are you talking about? You can't fix. So like, and that could be changed, and I could be totally just not have the same information.
Yeah.
And like that's an interesting like divide there.
Yeah, totally.
Between
For
people.
me, it's maybe with something. I mean, I've definitely like personally. First, I'm going to talk personally, and then I'm going to step it up a notch.
A challenge.
So personally, like I've always felt that I am a woman. I've always been not comfortable in my body. I definitely have some like dysmorphia in my life and like, you know, whatever, like
right
we all
now.
hate ourselves at some point, but it's something I've been working on. And I've been through trauma in my life. So like my relationship with my body is interesting. But I've definitely felt a little more masculine some days, a little more feminine some days, and like riding those waves. But I've never been like, I totally should be in a different body. Now, someone who's very close to me recently came out, and
As like trans or gender
as
fluid?
trans.
Okay.
And it was definitely not a shock, But it was, it's been a process, and it's also like one of the easiest things to do.
Well, I believe in trans people. I hope you know. I believe in transgenders.
No, totally. But like but I do see, like, the binary is so strange to me. Like the idea, I'm definitely like sexually fluid. Like I'm attracted to anybody if I'm attracted to them. And so for me, I feel like gender fluid is very similar to that. You know what I mean? It's like,
well, I can understand it in the sense that like when I'm speaking with women, I can be a little more feminine and I can embrace like their sensibilities, and same thing when I'm around men, and I can embrace that sort of.
Yeah.
And I understand that there is like, I am now personally having fluidity between gender identities and gender roles, and I have that feeling that I can embrace. So I can relate to that subject of like people. I'm feeling a little more feminine today.
Well, I think it's also
a little more masculine today.
The idea of gender fluidity to me, and again, like I am no fucking expert, but like the fact that like we have these roles is like, this is what it means to be a man and this is what it means to be a woman. And like, if you're not either of those things, or maybe sometimes you are those things and sometimes you're not, like that is fluid to me, because those things are constructs. They're not fucking real.
There's traditional archetypes. You will always have like an alpha wolf, and there will always be a leader of the pack. But for the most part, like I think it's really interesting to see how like human as a species is progressing past the ideas of like traditional like biological what we thought to be true 50 years ago. Like that's a fucking trip, because people are born and they're like, but I think I'm a woman and I'm in a man's body. This is unfortunate. This is obviously there were some wires crossed and someone's, and maybe it was just like, unfortunately there was some overproducing, and now we have people that are in fucking unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah. It was really interesting. I don't fucking remember, because I was like on the East Coast and I was tired and I was driving to the airport. But there was something that just came on like NPR, and they were talking about like the science even behind gender fluidity. So it's not just like an idea or a philosophy.
Of course,
like,
NPR did.
Yeah, of course. Well, I did say I was a liberal, didn't I? but it's interesting. I don't know. I feel like identity. I'm very much about deconstructing just societal constructs, whether that's in relationship anarchy or like, gender fluidity. It's like, there's no fucking rules. This is all like...
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
And I think that there is a way to operate in traditional circumstances as long as it's positive and really growth and producing.
It's nothing to like be like putting down any sort of like, oh, like you're so heteronormative and you have like,
Yeah, like that's not
two kids and
I'm just going to say to anyone who is not like, that's not an insult. When someone's like, oh, you're heteronormative. Like, oh, did you just call me normal? Like, ow, my fucking, my big straighty feelings over here. We're okay.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I think there's just so many people that have been forced to be confined in these ideas of what society has put on them that it's like, it's really unhealthy for a lot of people, whether that's their gender, their sexuality, like their relationship orientation, their how they create. I don't know. I just fuck all that.
I think everyone should be allowed to do anything they want. That's not hurting anyone or taking rights away from anyone.
Yeah.
And vice versa. And I think I don't really believe in gender fluidity in the sense that like I'm a boy today and I'm a girl tomorrow. Like I think that's preposterous. But I do think that there is transgenderism, and I do think that people sometimes their mental biology is born in the wrong fucking body. That sucks. I don't want that to happen. I also don't want them to now police like the words other people use or do something that infringes on like someone's personal civil liberties of like whatever the fuck it may be. And I like that there's like freedom of expression, and I like that everyone could do whatever the fuck they want. And when it comes to like controlling other people's thoughts, or like the idea that this conversation couldn't happen because some people were like, for lack of a better phrase, triggered by it, or it was something that they didn't agree with, and they were like, this is clearly in bad taste or something. Like, why you don't get to tell us to not say it or do it.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think, again, like, I'm probably not the best person to talk to about it. I think it would be really interesting for you to probably talk to somebody who
Identifies as gender fluid.
yeah.
Absolutely. And
You
that's
know?
what was my next thought. It was like, I like that the doors kind of being opened by someone like yourself. And then maybe someday I can have someone who identifies as gender fluidity. And I want to have the conversation, but I don't want it to be change my mind, you know?
No,
type
it's
of
just,
thing.
again, like, radical empathy. Like, I can understand that that's not something you may fully understand or believe in, but it doesn't, you know, it doesn't make me think any less of you. It's something that's like, oh, you probably just need to have more conversations to just at least have all of the information.
Yeah, and that's a start. And
Yeah.
so much of enlightenment comes from information, and a whole lot of ignorance and prejudice comes from lack of information.
Yeah, again, it's like travel conversation. I think, like, so much for me is like, I'm definitely not like there's a like specific meaning to life, but it definitely for me is like, what is life unless you're like living it with other people, right? And like some people just want to live in their little bubble with their little people, and that's fine. But for me, it's like I want to make as many connections as possible, like genuine connections as possible, even if it's just like, yeah, this is the last time we ever talk again. I'm glad that we did it. And
That was not the last time
it's
talking
not
in,
going
but you know what
to
I mean?
be. But
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, or when you're traveling and like you meet somebody at an airport and like you have a real discussion and you're being honest, and you're like, wow, cool.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, you know, I just think that a lot of my meaning in life is having connection and understanding people. Like, I want to know. Like, if I could read everybody's mind and get up in their fucking head, like,
If I could
would
read
be,
everybody's mind, I'd be masturbating a lot. I'd be like, oh, I can't leave the fucking house again.
Yeah.
Because my neighbor, that bitch, you know?
it's just so, people are really fascinating to me. I don't know. Maybe I should
People
not
are
be working in
fascinating.
an office making spreadsheets all day.
I don't know, but there's something I think it's important to do something like difficult and annoying like that, because my best ideas and the most focus I've had to do the things I want has been stuck at a fucking like job that bores me to tears, and I'm like, but I have a freedom thought, you know, I have a thought about my own fucking life, and I write it down and I put it in my pocket, and then I get home and then I fucking grind into it. So it's like, that's all the only life I got.
That's true. It's like scarcity makes you appreciate.
Scarcity breeds productivity.
Yeah, in a way. I mean, it's definitely not the way I want to live. I definitely don't want to think in a scarcity mindset or whatever.
But you also don't want to be flooded. You can't flood the market of thought or freedom.
Honestly, like I would say like one of my biggest prejudices is people who, and I'm trying to work on it, is people who have a lot of money and have a lot of time. It's really hard for me to relate to
That just
them.
sounds like envy. That's okay.
Yeah, it's hard because it's like I have no fucking time. I don't have this, and it's like you're complaining about this thing, or like I'm seeing all of the crazy shit you're doing. It's like, of course you can do it. It's like it's not a fucking miracle. You have all the time and the money in the
I break them
world.
down in my head, and I'm like, you're probably not funny. Like you probably have a little dick.
Yeah, and
like
that's
you're
dehumanizing the people that they are. But like I have it. It's very ingrained in me. Like I get mad about it. Like
Me too. I see a couple people on social media. I just mute them because they're just like, oh my god. Like the worst part is when they have like they're doing rich people things, and then they have to like try to fake the like poor people thought individuality in their captions, and I'm like, you don't have that much depth. You have that much money. That bought all those words for you, not your experience, you fucker.
Yeah, and everybody again, it's like everybody has their own stuff.
This is just a broke guy like bitching fucking.
Same. This is a broke guy bitching. No, it's just hard, especially like when I see a lot of people who create, and I don't have that time. I'm getting to the point where it's like I need to carve out more time because I'm becoming a little bitch about it. You know, I'm like, yeah, of course you're doing this thing because you have all the fucking time in the world and you've never worked a day in your life, you idiot. You know?
I would love to raise a kid and it just be like the stupidest, most spoiled brat, never works a day in his life, and be like, oh yeah, see, that was so worth it, wasn't it? Huh? Yeah. Oh, dying alone on your deathbed, huh? Lots of money. Just
Well, it's funny because people are like, money can't buy happiness. Yeah, but like it can buy me fucking time.
Oh, it can buy. I'm sorry. Money can buy a security to pursue happiness.
Yeah, totally. Like, yeah, I don't need a lot. but like I'd like a little more.
Always, yeah. There's probably a little more. I will be honest though, I'm so content in this fucking bedroom.
Yeah.
It blows by. Also, I don't fucking pay for the rent, so
Yeah.
that's part of it. But like, if I could have this bedroom exactly how it is somewhere else, like I'd be okay
I
with
think you
that.
can.
I think
you can make
But,
that
like,
happen.
look at
Dreams
the
are reality.
ceiling. I love that the ceiling's
Yeah.
big. Like, this is the biggest room I've ever lived in. This is amazing.
You could stack at least 3 of you in this room.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be horrible. 3 smelly, farting, fat-headed guys. Like, oh, gender fluidity is not real. Shut up. Like, just fucking
knock them down a peg.
Yeah. You're sleeping on the top bunk with the fucking cobwebs.
I have to pee.
Go for it.
Okay.
All right. Hey, Bad Etiquette listener. If you're enjoying the show and would like to support the podcast, you can donate to our PayPal at paypal.me/baddallas. And we're back. Okay, so yeah, I gotta ask you. You have armpit hair as a girl.
I do.
Why do you have armpit hair as a girl?
Oh my gosh.
I thought they were supposed to shave it.
Yeah, you're
That
supposed to do all
hair-
of the things that they tell you to do. You're not a mammal. Yeah, I'm definitely not like I never shave my body hair out of like some sort of
Solidarity
No.
with the feminists.
It's not
Oh,
that.
okay.
It's just like I kind of am comfortable in a lot of different ways. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, let me shave my legs and put on some tights and feel all fancy. But a lot of the time I'm just like, don't wanna.
Fair enough.
And I do actually like the way armpit hair looks on a woman.
I do too.
I'm into it.
Kylie's had armpit hair before, and I'm like, nice. I like it.
Yeah,
I can take it or
like
leave it.
it.
Like, it's totally like, I think it's a totally normal, good look on both ways. You know what I mean?
No, 100%.
That's why I want to bring it up. I want to tell you how enlightened I am with
Yeah,
armpit
good.
hair on girls.
See,
I'm cool with it.
enlightened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just growing up as a woman and I don't know. Am I like
You're a millennial, yeah.
preteen? Yeah, I
Sorry.
am a millennial. But like my preteen time was like Britney Spears time, like early 2000s or teenage time or whatever.
Peak waist, low rise jeans.
Oh yeah, and my ass is way too big for those. Like,
Oh, really? Oh,
I
geez.
can't do that. That's not the way I'm built. Give me them mom jeans. I look great in them. But it was just strange, like body conceptions, of just like, oh my God, I have to like, this is what's attractive, and that's like all I'm being fed is these images. It does some shit to you.
That's true. I mean, it's also not attractive too.
No,
there's
absolutely not.
I had to have like a semblance of reasoning when I was younger because I was like, oh, like muscles on a guy is good, and like
Yeah.
a lot of people have complimented me on like broad shoulders from when I was a kid, and I was like, that's weird. You're an adult.
Don't look at me like that.
Yeah. But I was like, oh, like people do like that. Like that's what, there's a fantastic quote by someone you probably would never agree with, but it's just a quote.
Yeah, I'm listening.
If you can have something going for you, why not have it going for yourself?
Oh yeah.
Like, why not dress nice if you can dress nice? Why not be in shape if you can be in shape?
I
Why
think it's
not
whatever makes
style your hair that day if you could?
feel good.
It's true.
you know.
That's probably where it should be taken. That's where that quote should
Yeah,
be put.
for me, it's like whatever makes you feel hot. Like if you want to be hot, then like if that's hot to you, then fucking do it. Like whatever. And I'm not like that's like the epitome of what I want to be, but it's like whatever makes you feel good.
I almost put cologne on before you showed up, but I was like, I don't fucking need to do that.
Yeah.
But a part of me is like, I hope she thinks I smell good. Like that's the only reason I have cologne is because I want people around me to be like, yeah,
That guy
it
smells
smells
good.
pretty hot. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's the only reason. And then I picked it up and was like, set it down. I was like, this doesn't matter. This is
yeah,
ridiculous.
this doesn't
I
feel
don't need
good.
this right
and
now.
like I go through
I could
so
tell
many...
it was like grossly premeditated. And I was
Totally.
like, nope.
Yeah, I get in my head a lot, and I don't really get in my head. Like, I definitely take time to get ready when, like, before a gig and stuff, but it's not anymore to be like, I want an image. It's more like, what am I gonna be fucking comfortable in? What am I gonna like feel strong in?
I specifically dress to the antithesis of my environment just to be an asshole. Like when I go to like a punk show, like I like looking like a preppy jock guy or anything, or like something like just a little more put together. And then like if I'm going somewhere where like, like if I have jury duty, I'm going to be wearing like a Dead Kennedys t-shirt. Like, fuck you guys. There's no,
Yeah, it's very.
story.
I am it totally depends on the situation, but I will take a lot of time getting. For a while, I was like, I love fucking sequins. That's what I'm gonna fucking be doing every time I play. Or it's like I'm gonna paint my fucking face every time I do a show. You know, like. But I realized that was all kind of like masking.
I envy musicians, like personal like appearance and the creativity they can have on stage, because you can do whatever the fuck you want up there.
Oh yeah.
As long as you have some music with it, it's just accepted.
Yeah.
You know, and if it's not accepted at first, it becomes so cool in the end, and it's like, oh fuck, like a lot of avant-garde stuff ends up floating to the top and being quite normal.
Totally. I yeah, for me it's like it's always a question of like, is this, why am I doing this? It's all about intention. Like, why am I doing this? Am I doing this because this is what makes me feel comfortable? Am I doing this because I have a specific aesthetic I want to go for and this is like part of the art? And like for me it was like what I'm presenting like physically, whether it's like in costuming and stuff, is like actually not enhancing what I'm doing on stage. It doesn't really matter. Okay. What matters is like that's a personal thing, and it's been a growth for me because I like I would love to have a band and be dramatic as fuck and wear all this weird shit and have like a thing, but that's just not what I'm doing right now, you know. And it's a lot of it is integration, like integrating who I am as a person and who I am as an artist. Yeah,
everyone has to find like their, at least us, find like a happy medium. I dress like a fucking dock worker 90% of the time just because I'm like, I feel safe and comfortable and I feel like men will respect me and women will also respect me in some way. I don't know. Like, I don't even know why I dress like that. It's literally just like, this is comfortable and it looks cool and there's like neutral colors, and I'm getting like more and more away from like t-shirts with graphics on them. Yeah. But sometimes it gets sucked right back into a good one, you know? Like I bought this shirt because there's a graphic, but it's on the back. So it's like, I changed my, you know, like there's a back t-shirt.
You don't have to look at it.
I don't have to look at it, but someone's going to be like, that guy's pretty cool. Because like when I see people in t-shirts, if I see something that looks cool on someone, I want to do that too. That's how I think.
T-shirts are like band t-shirts, artist t-shirts, like things like that. I don't have a lot of t-shirts, I'm not going to lie. But like, I love finding, if there's some rad art on it, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah, I specifically dressed like this because I was like, oh, black jeans, I gotta have a white shirt, can't be too much black. Then people are gonna think I'm like some weird goth kid, but I am. I am also deep down. Weird goth kid, deep down. So I was like, this is too much. This is too much.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. It's. I have multiple thoughts on it of like, like you are not what you look like, but also like I think for me it's important to present who I am and being authentic in who I am. And that means that I'm going to wear shit that I like.
That's the fucking end of it, is like, I like wearing shit like I like the way I like. I hate when my biggest fear or like biggest insecurity is like people think I dress a certain way means I think a certain way.
Yeah, totally.
Because like sometimes I like dressing like a fucking, like a big Second Amendment guy type of thing, you know. I mean, not that I'm not, but like I also like dressing like I want like a fucking like camo hat and like a tight like fucking military shirt type, one of those like, what are they fucking called, the fucking Glory whatever ass Black Rifle Coffee Company, one of that shit. And I want like a Yeti thing, and then I want like jeans and like boots, and I just want to look like a dude today. And then some days I want to be like, I want like my hair all fucking like messy and have like a, you know, like a V-neck t-shirt and look like very like artsy and like deep, and I want people to smell me and whatever, you know. And I just like want to bridge. I just want to go there, but I don't want people to think like, oh, gross, this guy's 1 second away from deporting me because of his fucking outfit, or this guy's definitely only eats soy and kale because he dresses that way. I'm like, I just want to fucking look like that today. So I love talking about fashion. I love talking about clothes. I love talking about like where they came from, and I like just being like absolutely transparent about why I wear shit.
Yeah, I will tell you about my shoes. These are new.
Oh, what shoes you wear?
They're some weird Toms that I got. Surf Connection.
Those are pretty cool.
I had to get my kids shoes, and they are slightly spoiled, and they wanted like Vans and Adidas.
Dude, that's the sweetest thing parents can do, is spoil them a little bit with shoes. Like shoes are like a great status symbol.
And it's like,
always.
You want solid shoes that will last, and like you like the style, and I want you to be comfortable. So it's been a few months, we'll get you some shoes. And so I got them a couple pairs of shoes, and I came to the cash register, and they're like, oh, these are both, like $60. They both are. I'm like, yeah, I know. And I was like, God, do I look that
Do I look
poor?
broke? Do I look that
And
broke?
they're like, oh no, there's a sale going on. Like if you get shoes that are over $50, like anything in the sale room is $10. And I was like, let me get up in that sales room.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so this is where these are from. And
That's awesome.
they're like little weird peanut butter shoes.
Okay, you warmed my heart when you said peanut butter. You describe anything peanut butter, I'm like, I'm in. If someone's like Trump 2020 peanut butter, I'm like, damn, he's got my vote.
Make me a sandwich.
Yeah. Not like that. Okay.
But yeah, I like them a lot, and I don't know why. And they're a little absurd, but they're rad.
I don't think they're that absurd. Those are
Maybe
the shoes
for
I
me.
would like expect you to wear.
Oh, good.
I'd be like, of course you're
I'm
wearing those
meeting my
fucking Toms.
expectations.
If I was but that's what I'm afraid of is I got to be honest with you. When it comes to shoes, I wear the most boring fucking shoes on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
So the shoes I have on right now, I have the exact same pair in the closet that are old. I just
Really?
bought the same pair again.
I have an issue where I buy a lot of shoes that I never wear, and they're all thrift store shoes. It's like,
Okay. Is that
Yeah.
is that a fucking chick thing or is that like you thing? Because
I don't know.
I've never met a woman who doesn't have multiple goddamn pairs of shoes. And if there is a woman out there that only has 1 or 2 pairs of shoes, stay away from her. She's a fucking lunatic.
I mean, I only have 1 or 2 pairs of shoes that I really wear often.
That means she only has her like mental hospital slippers. Stay away from her. Fucking lunatic.
Get out of here. But I do have like a closet. Like I have one of those shoes racks
Mm-hmm.
full of like weird shoes. And mostly it's like, I'll wear heels one day. And I put them on. I'm like, I look like an injured giraffe. I'm never wearing heels. So usually I'm wearing boots and, or like some slip-ons or something. But I don't know. I like these guys. They're comfy.
Slip-ons are cool.
Yeah.
Girls and slip-ons are a match made in heaven. Kylie has these fucking checkered slip-ons that I bought her for Christmas. I'm amazing boyfriend.
Best boyfriend ever.
Yeah, that's right. And I totally got her the dude size 5 and not the, like the women. And I was like, oh yeah, these are definitely it. Just complete ignorance again. Fucking. And they look great in every goddamn outfit she has on. I'm like, fuck, dude, like fucking slip-ons and girls like go together.
Yeah. The one problem with like certain slip-ons though, you gotta wear socks with them.
Oh yeah, they are stinky. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. Like she's
Or something,
began wearing
because
socks
like
with-
I'll be like in my office doing nothing. I'm just sitting there.
and then the shoe farts.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh my God, how did my feet get so fucking sweaty?
Oh my god, I know. I used to wear the same exact pair of slip-ons, and I just have cankles that start at my at my calf and at my big toes. Like I have hobbit feet like a motherfucker. Yeah, I just can't do it. I have to wear the most basic, boring like dude skate shoes, and I can't wear like cool shoes.
What's a cool dude shoe?
Like a shoe like Jacob Cole's wearing. You know what I mean? Like cool
Yeah,
dude shoes.
he's even sponsored by those shoes right now.
What an asshole! I can't wait to
Jacob
talk shit to him
Cole,
about it.
You're too fucking cool. Get out of here.
He'll be
Jacob-
on here next month.
So Jacob and I are very close. I dated Jacob when I was 13.
Me too.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an age gap. Jacob. And
Yeah,
then,
he was older than me. It was horrible. It was illegal.
but we were first roommates. Like he's one of my best friends.
Mm-hmm.
Friends for life. I love him to death. But yeah, sometimes he's too cool. I'm like, Jake, cut it the fuck out.
Yeah, can't stand him.
Gross.
I can't wait to have him on and just roast him. Be like,
Okay.
listen, you fucking hipster motherfucker. No, he's such a good sport. I love him.
He is.
Good sport. He's older than me.
Good sport.
I'm like archaically, like people just say like, Dallas, you're a 60-year-old white man all the time. I'm like, I'm just grumpy. I can't help it.
I'm just a grumpy guy.
These kids today, I have no fucking, yeah, that's exactly how I am. But
Oh, speaking
can't
of
wear cool shoes. Yeah,
Jacob Cole. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a little interject promo.
let's do it.
I am playing with Jacob Cole at Soho. In Santa Barbara, Soho. I think it's like restaurant and music
Mm-hmm.
club. Me and him will be playing along with. Sorry, this guy changed his moniker, so I am trying to
Spirit Gun
Spirit
and
Gun.
Raymond.
Thank you. And Raymond. Anyway,
Spirit Gun and Raymond.
no, it's Spirit Gun. Was Corey Leader, now Spirit Gun,
Mm-hmm.
and then Raymond somebody, and I'm so bad, and I'm sorry, Raymond, if you.
I
ever
didn't even
listen
write
to
Raymond's
this.
name down. I just remember the first part.
Anyway,
Watch
we're playing
something
Soho.
ethnic. She's racist.
Oh,
she can't remember
stop.
the ethnic nickname. Okay.
So Soho, March 24th, we're gonna be playing there. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be chill. And then another gig I have is March 30th with Tom Brousseau, who's really rad. He's played in Lompoc a few times, but he's been on like NPR Tiny Desk, and he's just a
cool.
brilliant songwriter.
Where's that show at?
That's at a Satellite of Love in Slow, which is one of my favorite venues.
I've never been, and I'm excited to check this place out.
Yeah,
honestly.
it's really adorable. I love intentional listening rooms. I know that's it's true though. I do. I love when people
cringe so hard when this
I know.
lady said that.
But like when somebody is coming there for a purpose. Like to me, music is very
Intentional,
and it's very like, and it can be fun and intentional. It could be serious and intentional, but it's like it's part of like my spirituality, so it's like going to church. You're like, okay, we're all here to do this.
They sing
one thing.
those songs at church for a reason.
Yeah,
they're
totally.
direct for that.
Yeah. I grew up in church and it's not my bag. But there were moments that were really beautiful, and it was usually like going and listening to music and being like intentional about it. So I'm excited about that. And then March 7th, which I know is going behind, I'm playing that Dolores Huerta house for a Working Femmes Festival.
That's Isla Vista?
Isla Vista, yeah.
So Santa Barbara, Isla Vista area, college town. Cool
And that'll be
place.
interesting. They said there's going to be music, poetry, crafts, and witchcraft, so I'm down.
Nice. You're down? Okay.
I'm down. I'm down with the
There's
witchcraft.
not witch. Anyways.
Another conversation for later.
I know. I love like the aesthetic of witch things too, though. So I'm
It
such
has
a
be-
hypocrite. I'm such a fucking big fucking.
It's become very. I have weird thoughts about it because I definitely have always been into that kind of thing, and then like it became this insane like pop culture like phenomenon right now.
Yeah,
and
that's bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, there's some things where it's just like. I think any sort of like holistic stuff or anything that's like super like meant to be like spiritual, and then it's used in a way that's very,
Capitalism.
Yeah, or just very, very like you're not really believing these things.
It's not. It's disingenuous. It's
disingenuous.
another costume for this phase of your life.
Right, but also then there's also like the positive of it is like people have community now and they feel understood. But then there are definitely those people that are being an asshole about it.
So I'm gonna relate it to something I experienced. When you said they have something they can relate to and they have a community about it now. Well, when I was growing up, I started going to like hardcore shows and punk shows and metal shows, and I was like, oh, I love like extreme music, but they had a community and everyone related to this thing, and it was this super disjointed, gross like. This is you're faking liking this to be a part of this community, and then you're being rude and shitty to each other. I don't believe in music scenes. I don't believe in a punk scene or hardcore scene. I think it's all make believe and preposterous, and I don't fucking submit or subscribe to any of that shit. I hate the fact that people go dress up in their like costumes and show up at the place and then go, we're this and we agree on that, because it's like, no, you're not. It's fake. You're fucking faking so hard. It's so gross and disingenuous. So that's why I'm like, I'm wearing a metal shirt at a punk show to like fuck with them.
Yeah.
And I'm dressing.
I understand that totally.
That's where like my mindset's. Why I'm trying to subvert that.
There's definitely. I've always felt very like. I love people. I love talking to people. Sometimes I'm very inward. I've just recently realized I'm probably more of an introvert than an extrovert. Even though I love talking to people, it's like how I recharge. I don't recharge in a group of people and I'm like, oh my God, yeah, like give me all your juju. Like, sometimes I ride that wave, but it's not like what makes me feel good the next day. So I need again, more alone time, more chill time. But what I was getting at is there's this like mythical idea of community or family that can be very positive in a way when it's people who are being authentic and like really looking out for people, when it's like everybody's looking like watching each other's backs, whatever. Which I haven't experienced yet. So this is why I'm like, I don't know how it is, but I'm sure it's great. But then there's like the other side of it. It's like when you're looking for that, like, oh, I want to be a part of something. Like I want this to be a thing that I can be a part of because I'm lonely and I want to be with people. Yeah. Like it can turn into a
sense of belonging.
Yeah. It can turn into, I guess it can turn into a negative thing. That's how people get into cults, and it can also it's just a vulnerable place to be in. And I'm really glad I'm not in that place. Like, yes, I love meeting people. I love finding people I can relate with. I would love the idea of having a community to raise my teenagers in where they're like comfortable and like, I know that like we can agree on certain things and we have similar values. Values is important to me. But I'm really happy that I am comfortable enough in myself where I'm not like, oh,
I need the witchcraft
I need a thing.
community
I need a thing. You know?
Yeah.
I think when people, like when I was not in a relationship, it was very easy for me to see how a lot of people, including myself, would get into that weird zone of like using people for connection. And not even like, I'm not saying like fucking everybody, which is fine. But,
I didn't even take it there, but yeah, that's funny.
but, you know, like, yeah, I'm not like, yeah, I'm using you for my physical needs, but like using people for connection and like getting on your app and being like, I just really need to talk to somebody right now. And like, I don't know what to do. And like, I don't even really want to be in a relationship right now, but like, I want to talk to somebody and like, this is how I can talk to people. And people get in this scarcity mindset of like connection. And I think that's where it gets weird. And I think that also extends to like having that community of strangeness.
I got to be honest with you, it's so transparent to like certain people when people are just changing wigs for whatever community they're in. Like I know people where I'm like, you're just wearing these clothes because you're a fucking poser and it's whatever's in right now. And I know you were like this last year because you were at the dubstep thing and now you're at like the hardcore thing and now you're doing this thing and now you're a Bernie thing or you're a Trump thing or like everyone like rotates these like costumes for this gross sense of belonging. And it's like, I know who you are. And it's the person that just is multifaceted in the most shallow way.
Yeah.
Cause you're just like, I'm here and here and here. And I just rotate, change. And it's like, I want to know who you're going to arrive at. Cause it's really like people, it's very transparent. Like me and my friends, we see people like this is, a fucking little look into like the eyes of like, misogyny and like sexism men have. Like we're always like, oh, there's this fucking like hang around like poser girl just like that's why guys will be like, oh, nice band t-shirt, name 3 albums, because it's like they think you're faking. They're like, it's gross and people shouldn't do that and I'm gonna wear, you know, whatever fucking t-shirt I want and you shouldn't be questioned for it. But the reason they're doing it, because I was like, this person's a fucking poser. People used to question me like, oh, nice Ramones t-shirt.
Yeah.
You don't even know what Rocket to Russia is. I'm like, no, I swear to do. I don't. No, I don't. Okay. You know, like it's because people are like, there's been too many disingenuous people like clouding up our community. So there's people who do have, that's their value.
Yeah.
They, like identify their value. It's gross. I don't agree with it. I don't think people should be like that. But I think because I've experienced that and have done that, I know where they're coming from.
Yeah. And I think that's part, again, it's like, we don't want to see that because we know we've all been there. We've all been kids.
We've all been a poser.
We've all been kids trying shit on, you know? And like, I've lived long enough to where it's like, I will gain more interests and I will know more things and but I'm never going to be like all this thing or all that thing. Like, yeah, we're multifaceted people. You're allowed to like whatever you fucking like. But when you make this one thing your identity, like, it makes me uncomfortable when I say that in other people because I've definitely tried to do that as like a 12-year-old. Of course you're going to try to do that. Like you're fitting stuff on for size, seeing if it fits. It's just there is a time in your life where it's like, are you working on yourself and knowing who you are, or are you just trying to like find a place to somebody tell you who you are?
And I almost did that like in spite of things. I was like, I'm gonna work on myself so you guys are stuck in your dumb cliques, you know. Like that's what this kind of book helped with. It's like, oh, like Henry Rollins he's in this punk scene and he's literally this entire tour book he has is just like talking shit about punks. And I was like, wow, they do suck. Thank God, you know? And there's like this big moment where he was talking shit about weed. And I'm like, yeah, because I was like a big sober person for like majority of my life. And I was like, fuck yeah, that's so gross. Why do people do that? It's just a plant. And then I was like, oh, it's just a plant. And now he's like super chill about it. And oh, what a sweetie. People, he grew, and I was like looking at his like 1980s mentality, and I just had to like catch up. I don't know where I'm going with that.
No, I know what you're saying. It's interesting when you follow somebody like that you have a close relationship to, artistically, I guess that would be, and you something that's more autobiographical, and you can see their evolution, and it allows you to evolve.
Well, that's so true because, for example, I said I started listening to podcasts, and what I liked about them was like a lot of the politically incorrect aspects to it. I've listened to podcasts from those years now and went, oh, that's gross. I don't agree with that. And the ones I'm still listening to don't agree with that either.
Yeah.
And they don't fucking think that way either. And they've changed and they've improved. And like by default and like by surroundings, like so have I. And it's totally allowed for that to happen.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy fucking shit. So like, I agree.
Yes.
I meet you. I had an example and I said it.
You did
me.
it. Yeah, I think I try to this is like kind of stretching a little bit off of that, but like one of my most important things that I have is my time. And so I try to choose very carefully who I spend and give my time to.
Well, then I appreciate this privilege.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. And basically, meaning like I'm definitely not like snobbish in any way. It's just like if you're not working on yourself as a person, like you don't deserve my time.
It's true.
Like if you're not actively like trying to be the best version of yourself and like learning and like growing,
You're just going to weigh me down.
yeah, it's like what? Like what's the point?
I'm not going to stagnate with you.
Yeah, I can't just be in this one little like dynamic forever. It's very important to me.
Yeah. And Lompok's definitely a stagnant place. I think Lompoc, the word literally means stagnant water.
That's
but
what I've heard. I don't know if that's true. But
I think
I've
it's
heard
true
I've heard
because
it.
think about how many people just stagnate here.
Yeah. And I think you can create a beautiful life here too. It's just like, it's not for me.
Both are possible. You're right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so thank you so much for
Yeah.
coming on my podcast.
Yeah,
This
thank you for
has been
having me.
fantastic. Like she said, she has shows March 7th in Isla Vista at the Dolores Huerta House, Soho, Santa Barbara. Fantastic venue. I love that place.
Yeah, me too.
My last experience there was fucking shitty, but it was the crowd. March 24th with Jacob Cole, Spirit Gun, and Raymond, last name unknown, and Satellite of Love on March 30th in Slow, which sounds like a really fucking cool place, and
Yeah.
I can't wait to check it out.
Check it out.
Any last thoughts? Any parting words?
No, I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Cool, absolutely. Anytime, come back. I'm always here. I like doing repeat guests because the next conversation is going to be a complete trip. It's going to be totally different.
Exactly.
And this is the Bad Etiquette Podcast. Where the fuck are you?